it foggy outside. All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sandman podcast. I am your host, Brian W. Tosh, joined as always by our resident hack checker, Oliver Fullington.
Yep.
Our producer and co-host, El Hilo del Hack, Tyler Fullington. And the man whose stories got stories, the hardcore icon. He's got 99 problems, but bananas ain't one. The Sandman. Hack, how the hell is it going today?
Big weekend for the Eagles, baby.
Yeah.
Big win, even though 5 turnovers, 22 points. I'll take it. It's a win.
It was absolutely a really, really good win. I mean, it wasn't the greatest performance. Obviously, Hurts was a little rusty coming off of the concussion. They struggled.
Dude, I don't think he was rusty because I was watching guys like guys go over like the game and stuff. Dude, nobody was open. There was nobody open. It was like crazy. Dudes were covered every single. They showed like 10 plays where there was nobody open. Not one dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think they held us down pretty well, but I mean, the Eagles persevered in that game, and they really just, pulled away towards the end of it, and yeah, I mean, look.
Pulled away?
Yeah.
It was a one-score game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they pulled away. I mean, they were in control. I mean, like, I think that this team has to realize what they do well, and that's run the ball, control possessions, and just continue to maintain the clock, kind of. So I hope, look, Saquon had a huge game against the Rams the last time they played. Hack, you've been saying it for probably almost the last 2 months that the Rams are on the come up. The Rams are on the come up.
Dude.
They won.
They certainly beat the hell out of what's the name?
Oh yeah, they dominated the Vikings in that game, and just totally 8 sacks. The rookie that they got verse has been really, really good for them, and they had five wins to end out the year. Obviously, they lost the last week to Seattle, where they didn't really need the game. But
no, everybody took time off.
Right, so they had 5 straight wins after the Eagles game. They beat the Vikings. Weird circle. You all right there, bud? You little snot rag.
You're blowing your nose into the microphone?
They really. I don't know. I mean, the Eagles are 6-point favorites.
Rams only scored 3 points in the second half.
That's true.
That's true. I mean, obviously, Ollie, we know your temperature check. You're not worried at all. And they're counting for some snow in the forecast too for the game on Sunday. So I don't know how much accumulation they're expecting.
We need Shady to tell us what kind of cleats to wear.
Yeah, I mean, that game he had, man, against the Lions, that was an all-timer. That was.
I was at SeaWorld with Buck then.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I didn't see any of that game.
Wow, that was an all-time game. I mean, that was just maybe one of the best performances I've ever seen from a.
What did he do? Go from half-inch to 3/4 inch at halftime or something, and that made the difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope the equipment team has it ready, and obviously the Rams are coming off a short week playing on Monday night, and then
having to go back home, deal with all the deaths and everything. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine them having their honestly, by the time they get here, they're probably going to be happy that they could just focus on a football game right now than all the other horror that's going on in their hometowns and stuff.
Absolutely, a little bit of a kind of just focus on business and separate that from everything that's going on in the LA area. Obviously, again, anybody out there listening in the LA area dealing with that, our thoughts are still with you guys and just the insane going on there. But Ty, I mean, what do you think about the game? Do you think the Eagles take care of business against the Rams?
The Eagles should be more prepared for this game. Obviously, like you said, snow's in the forecast. The Rams are dealing with a lot. They had that high adrenaline rush win. They were riding the backs of, fighting for LA and everything like that, and then doing that, and like you said, Hack flying home, having to deal with some other stuff, and then come back over here from the West Coast. I think they take care of business. Losing to Kobe Dean is not great.
Tough loss.
Yeah.
but he was playing awesome, and I don't think that he will necessarily hurt us in this game. If we do get past this game, I think that might show if we end up playing Detroit.
Yep.
Let's just try and get past this game here, which I think the Eagles will do. They should be able to run the ball. That cold weather, we're going to go out there and just try and pound them and be physical, and, we'll see what happens. I think the Eagles end up coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're going up against a team that has a coach and a quarterback who have both won a Super Bowl before. McVay is, I consider him to be one of the best coaches in the league. I know he's certainly going to be prepared for whatever the Eagles have.
I think
Vic Fangio also shoved McVay down in the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's true. That's true.
I think they're going to try and take a page out
like 3 years ago in that one?
I mean, it was a while ago, but
Wait, weren't the Rams in the Super Bowl like 3 years ago?
it was against the Patriots.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try and take a page out of what Tampa did earlier this year, is get the ball out of their hand quick. Those short out routes, those short hitch routes, which the Eagles are willing to give up because they do a lot of bend, don't break, don't give up the big play, and which may not be as easy to do if there's inclement weather with the snow, and the grip of the ball may not be as good. The timing on the routes, break in and out, may not be as good, but if somebody can do it, it'll be Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. They'll be able to do stuff like that, which the snow might actually help us out in that aspect. But I feel like that's kind of the game plan they're going to go into, because I can't see them running the ball on us. We're not going to allow them to get anything deep on us. So, I mean, I'm a huge Stafford fan. I really like Stafford. I think he's one of the...
he was throwing some lasers in that first half.
If you were going to ask me going into the playoffs who's a guy I would want as a quarterback, I mean, it would be Mahomes, and honestly, Stafford might have been two. Right after... I know Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are having unbelievable seasons and they're MVPs and stuff like that, but if you were going to say I need one game to win against anybody, I would put Stafford up with who they are. So I'm not really taking this I was fighting when the Vikings were playing the Rams. It was okay, do I want to play Darnold, who I pretty much sure is going to choke but probably has the better team, or do I want to play Stafford, who I think's the better quarterback and probably the less talented team?
I would have wanted to play the Vikings, man. I didn't trust Sam Darnold.
I was worried about playing the Vikings.
You were?
Yeah.
You were worried about them.
Yeah, well, their defense.
Very good defense. Very good defense.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to play the better quarterback, or do you want to play the better team? Because you would think Darnold was going to give it up, and he proved that he would.
Yeah, but dude, when you're running for your life back there, 8 sacks. Yeah, 4 in the first freaking
and
quarter.
And they just came off a game of probably getting beat up.
Too.
Getting beat up against Detroit. Detroit's going to pound you and be physical and everything like that. So,
but the only thing is, at least I know that their defense, the Rams D line, is not going to dominate against Minnesota like they did with us.
No. Absolutely not. Our line is much better than the Vikings, and I think we'll be able to.
But then they lost their best guy, the 79 or 74. Was that game? I don't know. I've seen so much football lately. It's hard to remember everything.
I think for them, the status of Higbee, I don't know. Is Higbee going to be playing in the game on Sunday? I'm not really sure.
I think he is.
Higbee left that game early.
It's not looking great right now. I think it was a concussion.
Yeah,
I think they said so, which is
you never come back
after a week
from a concussion. Very, very rare.
Very rare.
A couple guys have. That's it.
I think it was a concussion. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it was. And if I'm in fact correct, then it's hard to see him coming back this week.
We'll see. The one thing I got to say though is up yours, Kevin from Dayton. The Eagles took care of business past week.
Oh yeah.
So how about that? You were trying to talk smack in the emails, man.
Yeah, saying that Jordan Love was coming in here.
So maybe when this episode comes out Monday, I hope we're celebrating another Eagles victory. The Lions play the Commanders in Detroit, and Commanders.
I told you about the Commanders too. I said that kid can win. You can put a team on his back and win for you, dude. And then I realized, dude, he's got 6 fourth quarter comeback victories this year.
Yes, he does.
5 or 6.
Yeah, they've got
that
5.
Dude's a beast.
They've got 5 or straight wins off of fourth quarter, last play of the game wins.
That kid's freaking scary.
Against Atlanta, against them, against us.
He is for a rookie.
And him inside the dome against that defense on a fast track. Who knows? Now
He might run for 150.
Washington's defense is going to have a problem of their own.
Of course.
But Daniels, he might be able to go toe to toe with them. I mean,
Dude, they need to play a 3-deep zone, a triple Tampa 2, or whatever the hell we call it.
yeah, the old triple Tampa 2.
Yeah, that Detroit offense is, oh my God.
Yeah, they really are. And who knows? I mean, the Eagles could theoretically still host the NFC Championship game if both the Commanders win and we win. It could be back here next Sunday for the championship.
Wow.
So,
Live pod from the tailgate.
live pod from Jet Row.
yeah.
All right.
Man, I don't know. So
Bring
we'll
your
see.
Eskimo suit.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold one here in the next couple weeks for Philadelphia. But
No, the cold one's going to be Baltimore and Buffalo.
I cannot wait for that
I
game.
know, but that game's going to be like wind chill factor
It's
0.
like 9 under. It's like 9 and below.
I just hope the Eagles win so I can actually enjoy that game after the Eagles game, because otherwise I'm going to be in such a poor mood if the Eagles don't win on Sunday, and then have to watch that game, which is just like, I mean, that's like an AFC title game worthy game.
That's a Super Bowl. That's a Super Bowl game to me, Baltimore and Buffalo.
Well, at least it's Martin Luther King Day the next day, so we can all get shit faced if we lose and not
I
have to
got
worry about
work on
anything.
Monday, so.
Oh, boo. Yeah, you got to talk to your boss. Dude.
I
Put
should.
Martin over.
Yeah, we should have off on Monday. Actually, that's something I'll have to take up with ownership there. But yeah, man, I mean, we're excited watching some football. We also have the College National Championship
Yeah,
game
that's on Monday too.
On Monday between Notre Dame and Ohio State. What are you guys thinking about that game? I know Ohio State seriously looks like they have a big talent discrepancy in that game, but I don't know. Ollie, do you think Notre Dame's got any chance in that game?
No.
He's giving them no chance.
I mean, they got a defense, but I don't think their offense is going to hold up and score enough points.
Right. I don't think so either. And I mean, especially if Ohio State gets after it. I mean, they got 2 NFL running backs. They got 2 NFL receivers at least. They got a ton of talent on defense themselves. So I don't know. Hack, what are you thinking about that game?
And all they did was shoot themselves in the foot with 15-yard penalties. And that number 32, their running back who punched the guy in the face, they were getting ready to go up 14-zip, fucking 5 minutes into the game, and then just shit started happening after that.
Against Texas, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was a fun game, but
I don't know. Notre Dame's got a defense. If Notre Dame can control the ball and they have a good offensive line, they have a good running back, and
They got to keep them off the field, just like we got to keep Detroit off the field. Baltimore's got to keep Detroit's offense off the field.
yeah, Riley Leonard, the quarterback, he's going to be running the ball. They have an NFL running back. They have an offensive line. If they can slow the game down and control the clock, I can see Notre Dame staying in this game. Hopefully,
hanging tight. So we'll see. We got a lot of football over the next couple of days here to watch, and hopefully the Eagles pull through and bring us another victory.
I know, but it's been a great first couple of weeks of January, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's always great
Wow.
watching.
I know, but now with college football playoffs, too, it's just 5 straight days of games, stuff like that.
I know,
That's
like
good shit.
football overload.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus
Last
Christ.
week I was on overload.
Well, we
I
only
said
gotta
it.
enjoy it while it's here, because then February is going to be here and suck. So that's
Well, yeah, considering how the Sixers are.
yeah. Geez, do we even want to touch base on that, man? God.
Thank God the Eagles are carrying us through at this point, because it would be really bad at this point.
Yeah, yeah. The less said about the Sixers,
But
the better.
next year, February would be great because are the Winter Olympics next year? February's great then because you roll right from the NFL right to the Olympics right to March Madness.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
There you go. You got it all planned out for
And pitchers
for-
and catchers, baby.
Pitchers and catchers,
Really?
sure enough, we'll be going to Clearwater soon enough, guys. This week on the show, we reviewed ECW Guilty as Charged 2001. Everybody,
Man, I was a beast.
you were hacked, but before we get to that, I do have a bunch of notes from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Hack, quiz you here. Who's the Wrestling Observer newsletter
I
by?
don't know. Freaking Dan. Freaking what's his name?
We just told you 5 minutes ago.
Dave.
Dave?
Yeah.
Dave, what's his name? Dave Meltzer.
Meltzer, yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is...
But when you've been getting it wrong for freaking 30 years, it's hard to just oh yeah, you just told me 20 seconds ago.
Not to be confused with Dave LaGreca, who you thought.
Or the other Dave. Who's the other Dave that was always in our chase?
Dave Shear.
Yeah, see, there's a reason why I'm all screwed up.
Okay. Here we go. This is from the January 8th, 2001 Wrestling Observer newsletter. Citing a number of factors, including the enormous pressure he's been under over the past year, the large company debt, and what he sees as the future landscape of the business, Paul Heyman said he was in serious negotiations to sell either a majority share or all of ECW. Heyman, who said his views have changed greatly over the past 3 months, said he's recognized the company at the size it is currently or even in the shape it was, couldn't survive the rapidly changing pro wrestling landscape, saying it's a world of big boys and the independent operators simply can't compete. This is directly from Paul here, Hack. Heyman has talked as recently as a few weeks ago about scaling down the company, cutting back on payroll, and running a regional promotion, said the economics of doing what would amount to old-school territorial wrestling don't work today because of the rising costs of television. One can't get and maintain television time without lots of money behind the company, and an old-school territory can't generate the revenue to support the cost of TV, which is what killed Smoky Mountain Wrestling. But without television, ultimately, there is no promotion that can make it at any kind of real impact level for outside merchandising. Heyman said he would be receptive to walking away from the business if the right offer came, saying the offer would have to guarantee a major cable clearance, clear up the company debt, which is estimated to be between $4 and $6.5 million, depending on how one wants to figure
Yeah,
it.
his dad's life savings.
That's just unbelievable amount of money he ran up here. $4 to $6 million in debt.
Dude, what he's paying at this point, he's paying me like $3,500 or $4,000. One of them paid Van Dam the same thing, paid Sabu the same thing. I'm sure paid Dreamer, Taz the same thing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys making a lot of money.
Right. I mean, this is some serious money.
There's probably at least like 8 guys making $150 a year.
So Heyman said the company has $2 million in accounts receivable, much of it being pay-per-view money from in-demand that is yet to arrive for shows already completed. In addition, he's looking for new ownership that could provide an infrastructure, set up such a promotions department, a public relations department, etc., and take care of current contracts.
What straight bullshit.
Total bull. I mean, total bull. He doesn't expect to be walking away from ECW, as everyone he's negotiated with has had him wanting to stay on and handle creative end of the company, which is where his greatest strengths lie. Managing money is in his own self-professed weakness. His creative process has been hampered greatly by the past 18 months by spending most of his time in meetings trying to procure various licensing and television deals to keep the company alive. Hack. In 2001,
It's all a lie.
In 2000 and 2001, Heyman was constantly telling the boys in the back that, oh yeah, I'm working on these deals, I'm working on these deals. And
We had me and Todd had somebody for him, and he didn't even pursue it at all.
And this person that you speak of is taking over the company, or potentially a potential buyer out there.
Yeah.
You say it was like liquid, very, very like stable. Somebody who
Todd just told me about it. Forget, because I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but there was a couple different options that came along, but none of us knew that. This is why this is such bullcrap, because Vince has been at this 2001. Vince has been giving him money since '95.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's 6 years into Vince giving him money, and Paul's talking about, I'm talking to this guy for a deal. No. He knew it the whole time. It was washed.
So if I had to ask you what his end game was, it was always
Exactly the way it played out.
always ending up with WWF, like he did. Yeah.
Exactly the way it played out.
Okay. Heyman said, it's the era of the big boys. We're too big to be small time, but we're too small to be big time. The reality is ECW, as it presently structured, isn't viable. I mean, that's not something I disagree with. Once you guys lost the TNN contract, the writing was kind of on the wall for the future of the company. Walk me through what some of the talent was thinking during this period of time.
Well, everybody knows it's just a matter of time.
Okay.
But not everybody.
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 So, even Tommy. I mean, people like...
Well, Tommy's not going to say it like anybody else is, but everybody else is.
Okay. So, you're going...
Because a lot of times Paul wasn't even on the road with us. Tommy was running everything.
And Tommy was handling most of the creative at this point.
Well, yeah.
And it's basically, he's running the shows, basically, while Heyman's out there trying to find these deals, talking about FX is interested. And
Oh, yeah, he's going to be working with, well, we're doing a Saturday night show in freaking, in Albany, New York. He's in a meeting with freaking FX. Okay.
Right, yeah. I just, so you're taking this as a grain of salt for everything. Were there ever times where your payments were late, or, flight tickets were late or...
No, never. Well, you got to remember, this is before 9/11. So once 9/11 happened, the whole world changed. But he's literally flying guys like Ron Simmons up there, and his name's like Phil Goldberg. He can't. He flew Steiner up here because Steiner was he was a surprise. So I picked him up at the airport, and Steiner was pissed because he flew under somebody else's name.
Okay.
But that's how it was back then.
And like a lot of times I've heard people talk about like Paul would try to get like bereavement rates from the airlines and stuff.
Absolutely.
Just to try to
Anything.
like weasel a couple extra bucks here and there.
Anything.
And just, I mean, but for when it comes to your pay at the figure you were
Yeah, he probably missed a couple, but I mean, I wasn't concerned because I was getting paid every which way we lose at that point.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still making the 5 G's a week out of WCW at this point.
Okay. And this is another note from the Wrestling Observer. ECW has scaled back its plans and will be doing 6 pay-per-view shows in 2001 as opposed to the 12 originally planned.
How many did we get to?
1.
Okay.
I mean, when you're scaling back and you're losing things, this is the other one here too. The situation with ECW and MSG Network is unclear at press time. ECW is not listed in several TV listings in the New York area for MSG Network on 1/6 in its regular 1 a.m. time slot, which would be the go-home show before the pay-per-view. Important not only because the show is in New York, but because New York is the company's key TV market. According to Heyman, it is going to air. He said ECW, which exists on the station as paid programming, believed to be costing ECW more than $4,000 a week. MSG Network
Told everybody we were paying to be on TV anywhere we went. Nobody paid us to be on TV.
which is just a lost leader for you guys. I mean, having a footprint in television is very important.
$12,000 a month.
It's a lot of money.
It was Todd was telling me.
It's a lot of money. It's okay. He said that ECW, which exists on the station as paid programming, believed to be costing ECW more than $4,000 a week. So that goes to your $12,000 a month figure.
Yeah, that's what Todd was telling me. That and Todd's out. Like, I don't know if Todd. I'm sure Todd's totally out right now, but maybe it's been a year since he's been gone or whatever. But he's been paying that bill for a year at least.
Okay. Well, this is what the MSG Network said. They said that the show was canceled because a deal hasn't been made, and they're, as of right now, they are not on the schedule. They haven't renewed their deal. The ball is in their court. Another network spokesman said it was a mutual decision not to continue the programming because a new deal was not reached. As best as we can read through all of this at press time, ECW had not made its payments, and it later came out that ECW had not paid for more than a year. So they had owed the year's worth of pay to this network for paid programming. It's amazing you guys stayed on the air as long as you did with the MSG Network being owed a year's worth of debts. That's just wild stuff right there.
Yeah, but 1 o'clock in the morning is not like 4 in the afternoon or like, you know what I'm saying? But still.
No, it's a year's worth of television time that just wasn't paid. I do have notes here from the 1801 Observer, so this is the week following. The talent here. This is something very interesting. Wrestlers received half pay at the show, leaving them 7 weeks behind. The morale was said to be very bad, with the news getting around that despite claims to the contrary earlier in the week, that ECW had indeed lost its TV in MSG in New York, trying to garner hope because ECW had some clips aired on Farm Club. There was not even the hints given that a TV deal was on the verge of being announced, and Heyman did not even produce a new television show since the other key market, Philadelphia, had not gotten the tape of the show for the last weekend. So many were questioning if any TV would be produced from this point forward. And guess what? Spoiler alert, it was not. There was no television produced following this show. This was the final televised ECW broadcast. Again, Hack.
So how long until we're in, what is it? What we're in, Pine Bluff? Or
Pine Bluff?
Next week.
Next week. It was a couple days later.
And then you guys were
okay.
done.
Done.
Oh, wow.
Done.
January 2001?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the final show for ECW. Guys that are 7 weeks behind in pay. I mean, I understand, and I brought this up before. You're trying to make a name, you're trying to make a legacy, you're trying to build your own reputation, and ECW is proven to be a proven ground for talent to do that. But when you're not getting paid for nearly 2 months of the work that you do in the ring, I mean, man, what are the,
Well, it hurt a lot of guys more than it hurt like some of the upper talent that was making
Like
like
yourself.
real money. But the guys were still coming in because at least if you were on TV, that helped your indie prices. It kept your indie prices high for like your Hamricks and guys like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Julio's.
right? That some of the lower card talent and like
You
Which
can't-
a lot of them had regular jobs anyway.
Well, and you can't afford to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to work. Like, image-wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't afford to be like, oh, like, I'm not... Like, you're putting me on a show, I can't afford to not... Like, and I'm sure some of those guys were, like, paying their own way to be there, but that's, like, a lot of the indie guys, like, just trying to get their... Like, you're paying your way to get there, but at that point, it's like... Hey, he's put me on TV, so I'm going to stay there and just ride it out as long as I can, because I'm sure everybody had their breaking point, but at that point, it's like, I'm just going to ride it out and, hope for the best whenever it does fall.
Well, RVD was one of those people that had a breaking point. He had not worked for the company for a couple months before the show.
I didn't even realize that.
His last time that he worked for ECW was in October. Paul owed him a lot of back pay for pay-per-view paydays that he had not paid up on. So RVD stopped going to work. And I mean, he's somebody who had more of a leverage than, let's say, Chris Hamrick or so in the business, right?
Right.
RVD was somebody who was able to say, all right, I'm not going to work, or a Sabu, some of the talents that were in ECW in 2000 and stopped performing because they weren't getting paid. But, I mean, Hack, walk me through what the locker room is like at this point.
No, it's guys you're miserable, but you're a family in misery together. You know what I'm saying? So you know the hammer's dropping. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Well, because I can't really relate it to any other job, or not like I've had a lot of jobs in my life, but I can't really relate it to like somebody else, like say going did this like the big how many big companies are going are filing Chapter 11 bankruptcies and stuff right now, like your Kohl's, your dollar store. There's so many. I don't know what it's like. Then what the hell are those people going to do?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I can't imagine it.
I think of it as like, it's like a restaurant or a bar, and maybe the food's still being put out and it's really good, and the service is still really good, but you're just not making money, and eventually you got to close up shop, and like the people are still busting their ass there, and you watch this pay-per-view card, and you look at that crowd. How many people were there, Ollie? Like 2,000 or so?
I mean, the place was packed.
Place was packed. The crowd was into it, and the wrestlers all bust their ass on this show. I don't think I saw anybody who was like, just
I don't think
phoning it in.
I saw anybody that wasn't jacked out of their mind.
Right, everybody
Everybody was big, dude.
I mean, I
bigger
think-
than I ever seen them.
well,
Including Simon Diamond.
yeah.
We'll get to that. He was 280 at least.
But it's just crazy to me that like this company, like a lot of times you watch like some wrestling companies and you see them on the way down. Like you watch WCW towards the end, and it was bad for a long time. And I don't think of 2000 and 2000.
Well, that was because there was 15 guys running their own shows.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody answered to Paul Heyman and ours.
But you guys even in 2000 and here with this show, it's like it wasn't the best of ECW, but to me it wasn't. I didn't see as a dying company. I didn't see these shows where it's like the crowds are sparse and it's not like people are into this show. People are really into this product still, and they still love the talent in this company. It just financials of it just weren't working.
And you can't fathom why it's not successful.
Right.
And able to continue because
Great point.
they're packing every show that they're doing. Everybody's
Yeah, we
into
might
it.
have been the only indie company that went out of business with 15 straight sellouts.
Yeah,
crazy.
Seriously.
Yeah,
And
it's-
like
think
you
about
see
it.
in the crowd, everybody's got somebody's shirt on,
Yeah.
an ECW shirt on. So they're selling merchandise.
fully invested in the show, storyline, everything. They know everything that's going on.
Watching at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Right, it wasn't what you would like. Okay, if I told you this is the last show of a wrestling company, you go watch some of these like WCW shows. They're going out of business. It's not good. The crowds are dead. It's like it's
no,
really
the thing
bad.
is like people. Like, it's not like one of those last shows where they advertise like this is the last show. Like, crowd didn't know. Like, crowd might have knew they were in some financial disarray, but like they're not sitting there being like, oh, this might be their final show that I got, you know, like where people advertise for that, like this is our last hurrah. Like, no, they were still packing out everything that they had, and it's just crazy the way it ended. And like Hack said, it's like a huge family. Like, I'm watching the show and I'm just thinking about all, like, every guy in there. Like, I'm a young, at this point, probably 10, 11 years old or whatever, and I just have so many memories and stories of those guys and, like, being so good to me when they didn't even, like, have to be, you know? Like, it was a fucking family.
Yeah.
You know, I was everybody's, like, little nephew or cousin or everything like that. That's just how it was. It's, you know, it's not like your your WWE, WCWs. They, like, all those guys cared about each other, and they all wanted to see every single one of them make it. Like, that was their goal. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go out here and shine. It was like, yo, let's go kill this together.
Right. And Hack, you say it all the time. I mean, you go and you have family reunions on the weekend with your people. Thing ever. And this is 20 some years later that you're doing
this. I was with Gardner a couple weeks ago. Guido, freaking, who was that said, the Baldies, one of the Baldies was there.
Tony?
Yeah, he was there. So it was nice.
Well, it was like the thing we went up in New York. It was the first time I had seen Carino in
First
forever.
time I had seen him in a decade.
And he came up to both of us, and he came up to me and, like, gave me a big hug, and he was like, Ty, dude, I haven't seen you in forever. How you doing? What's going on?
Great.
Like, I was like, Steve!
His kid hung out with me half the time. The kid was, me and that kid were like best friends for that signing.
And I was shocked that Steve had even recognized me, first of all. But he came up to me and was like, dude, Ty gave me a big hug. Like, how you doing? Like, whatever. And Steve's, you know, on to WWE and, like, doing whatever. But, like, none of that mattered. He saw Hack, gave Hack a big hug, saw me. I'm just, you know, the kid, whatever, and, like, gave me a big hug. And it was just like, damn. Like,
that locker room was really
like
special.
That's so cool.
And I don't know if it's been replicated in wrestling since at all.
Kevin Sullivan said that Florida was the only thing that was close to it.
Yeah.
Even close to it.
I mean, it's like a real brotherhood, a sister. You know, people, like, you look at these people and they're like, you know, they're basically family. It's like, yeah, you worked with them, but, like, you know, they're closer than even some family members sometimes. And it's a real special thing that ECW had. And this show, I mean, for a last show, it doesn't have the feel of a last show. It doesn't. It's like
last pay-per-view.
Well, last pay-per-view, last televised show for ECW. Did you have hope that something would pick up ECW, somebody would buy it? Was that something you were holding out for, Hack? Still?
Not in the last fucking couple months.
No. At this point, you were like, this is done.
Yeah, but I just didn't know when the hammer was dropping.
The craziest thing is ECW declares bankruptcy 2 months later, and WCW is purchased by WWF. So in the span of just 2 months,
2 and 3 company.
2 and 3 are down for the count, and then it creates the monopoly that WWE has had up until 2019 when AEW launched. Obviously, TNA in 2002 was started, but no real secondary place. And it's not just the boys and the women in the company. It's all the other people that you don't think of. The production people, the referees,
Ron and Charlie, freaking
security.
All of them.
It's so many people. So many people lost their jobs over this, and it's like, man, it's just a bummer. But
and it's more than a job.
It's a passion.
Yeah, it's a passion. Because, like you said, those dudes weren't getting paid, and they were going there doing that shit. Like, that was their life.
Yeah, it's just a real bummer. But here we go. We're getting on to the show proper here. Guilty as Charged 2001. The show opened up with a video package, which is, I thought, a pretty cool package. And they're coming from the Hammerstein Ballroom, man, in Manhattan. Hack, was this one of your favorite buildings to work all time? No, you're not.
I mean, it was like maybe number 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Well, yeah, you got the arena, obviously.
Arena's one,
and then you got the other one in Queens, that building.
The Elks Lodge.
Yeah, the Elks Lodge. Those 2 were before that, but that's probably 3.
And then you got the Hammerstein.
Yeah, and I liked Lauderdale Armory too.
You like the Lauderdale Armory?
We went there probably like 5 times.
What about the Golden Dome in Pittsburgh? That was one of my favorites. You guys always ran.
That's got to be up there too.
I love that.
Not one of my favorite places. It was just too big.
I love the look of the building now.
Yeah, but it was just like too big and we couldn't fill it. You know what I'm saying? We would like fill like 1/5.
Yeah. So they go to the ring, and there's Joey and Joel doing an intro. And Hank, you texted me this
Gertner
week.
is the
You were like,
greatest.
"Did you watch yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't watched yet." And you were like, "Gertner's the best." And I was just like, everything he does. There's so many people. He's doing the waving his arms
It's
right
great. That might be the greatest sell of professional wrestling ever.
now. There's so many people on this show where I'm like, damn. You could have had a spot somewhere on the card for WWF. Like, Gertner's somebody to me, man, because he was such a great talker. Like, I can't imagine that he never got a chance somewhere in wrestling, like, for the big time in WWF. Like, he was so gifted.
Yeah, but it was locked back then by certain guys. You know what I mean? Like Bobby and Jerry. You know, there wasn't much room for announcers anywhere in that company.
Well, and it was
because they
tough.
didn't have SmackDown 2 and NXT and all that bullshit.
Well,
And it was
There was
tough.
5 spots.
And it was tough because he wasn't. I'm sure he could have done it, but he wasn't like a real commentator. It was like a.
Oh, he could have done it easily if he wanted to.
That's what I'm
not
saying,
saying
like, he-
calling every single move like Joey did incredibly in that one match with Guido.
no, you
oh
gotta
my
find
God.
a niche for him, but.
he could have been a manager or somebody. Like, I mean,
Well, yeah.
I if you gave me a Joel Gertner, I'd find a spot for him in my wrestling company.
Right.
Oh, he was with that's when he was with the Dudleys.
Yeah,
You see how Van Dam put him over?
yeah. Okay. So we got, and they're doing a little intro, and Gertner's just popping everybody.
The fondle those titties and lick that little clitty. I was cracking up.
Dude, so good.
And
Maybe
this
it's
girl's
best-
just like eating it in the front row. That's like going to like a comedy show and being a good-looking girl and sitting in the front row for like an Andrew Dice Clay.
Right.
You know you're getting fucked with.
You're going to get heckled a little bit in an ECW show. Out came Joel introduced Christian York and Joey Matthews. Man, both these guys look jacked up too.
Everybody on the freaking show was. I'm like, well, if you guys ain't getting paid, how you paying for the juice?
Maybe they were showcasing themselves for WWF.
Hey.
You know?
Yeah, you
Joey.
don't know.
Joey Matthews did end up there eventually and working as an agent. But out then came the Baldies, and Angel and DeVito were jumping them. And then he gave Gertner a DDT in the aisle.
The whole first like 4 segments is so Paulie.
It's just bleeding together.
Run it, baby.
So
Right.
94.
Oh, it's not 94, but it's something. So then the opening match was Jerry Lynn and Cyrus against York and Matthews, kind of. Lynn took out Matthews with a cradle pile driver, and then Cyrus got the pin.
Well, which wasn't even really. The Baldies did all the work,
Right.
and then it was
It's all. Put it this way: if I was watching that and that happened in AEW, I'd probably poo-poo it. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, "What the freak are these guys doing here?" But like, how many pins were there when it wasn't really? I lose the belt. Freaking! There's at least 2 others where the guy's not even in the match.
Right, it happened a lot on this show.
Yeah.
But
That was ECW?
It was ECW. I mean, it was. You never knew what was going to happen next, and you didn't know who was going to come out next, and you didn't know what was going to bleed into what. I mean, it was part of that whole kind of like throw everything at the wall and something's going to stick kind of mentality of the booking at times, and oftentimes it did, and sometimes it didn't. But afterwards, Lynn told him that it's their job to make the stars look good, which used to be his job, but not anymore. And then Lynn says he's never going to wrestle again unless it's in the main event. And then he starts taking some shots at RVD, and the crowd's just going nuts, chanting RVD at him. And then Cyrus and him, looking at these guys, I was like, man, this would be a pretty good like heel act. Cyrus with hair is certainly a look too. He had the long flowing locks, which is
Oh, you love that hair.
man, he had great hair, and he was a great heel. So that's how the show started. Up next was like another video package, and then we go into the second match, which was the EC. Oh, I mean, I can't even give that a star, so I don't even know why I'm going to ask, but no, it's not a star. Up next was the tag team title match between Danny Doring and Roadkill versus Hot Commodity, Easy Money, and Julio De Niro.
Oh, I love this.
I love them, and the best worker in this match is on the outside, Chris Hamrick.
Literally.
I fucking
And
love.
I'm wondering, why isn't Hamrick in this match?
Well, because he had to do the next one.
Right.
But I mean,
but that's what I'm wondering.
best worker in this match easily, and
Yeah,
Elektra.
Hamrick's great.
Elektra as well. Like, okay, Hack, I gotta ask you about Easy Money. This is somebody where, like, I'm watching this match, and I remember liking him as a kid, but I'm like, if you took Easy Money and put him on a Dynamite card today, or an NXT show, or anything, his style translates to today's wrestling so well.
Yeah, like a Hangman Page, I would like.
Dude, he did
I would say he's like that.
How about the spot he did on the outside?
The guardrail? He did the Hangman Page basically on the guardrail.
He literally did that to Roadkill on the outside. He did the buckshot lariat. So that's a...
You know, man, I don't know that shit.
But I fucking hated his gear. What was up with the... He's rocking the thong like he's Mr. Ass Billy Gunn.
That's great shit.
You like him thonged out?
The best was the wedgie when he...
With the wedgie.
The place went boom.
Yeah, the place did for the super bomb with the wedgie that
Dude,
Roadkill
that
hit him
dude
with.
could work, but there was something about him where he had some heat in the locker room.
Yeah.
He had an attitude problem or something.
After you guys stopped doing shows, he ended up in WCW for their tail end and was really killing it working in their cruiserweight division. And, like, he just never took off in wrestling, really. And he's somebody where I'm like, damn.
He was there when I was there?
No, at the end of WCW in 2001.
The end was 6 months after I left or whatever.
No, you left in 99. WCW lasted for another, like, 18 months or so after you left. And
I always thought it was like 6 months.
He was there in WCW after ECW for, like, the last, like, 6 weeks.
I always love watching his work. Him and Julio.
Julio De Niro, another great, like...
Dude, I love Julio's
when he
he was jacked, too.
He was
ripped. What a washboard.
He had a great super kick.
Dude, that jump that he did over the freaking top rope, I didn't know he had hops like that.
And he could bump. He bumped his ass off. Both guys bumped their ass off in this match. And look, I say it a lot too about Roadkill, man. Roadkill was somebody who, like, that guy could
just don't let him kick you in the back while you're sitting on the mat. He will kill you. He will straight kill you.
Killed me as a 7-year-old. I can't imagine what the hell it was. We'd be fucking around the ring. I'd be like, Jesus Christ. I'm fucking 8. Lay up. Like, kill me.
Oh, he was stiff.
This match,
Jesus.
There was a long heat segment on Danny Doring, and then Doring eventually got to knock out both of the heels and make the tag to Roadkill. Roadkill was just running wild, and the crowd was...
Clothesline and everything in his way.
Boom, and they were feeding him nice. They were doing a really good job of getting up and bumping for him. And then he gave... this is when we talked about it. He gave Easy Money the super wedgie, pulled up the thong that he was rocking, and then he gave him like a super power bomb. And then Elektra got involved, and Chris Hamrick got involved. They were not able to help them, and they hit Doring and Roadkill hit the buggy bang for the finish.
Great timing on the finish.
It was perfect.
That whole thing, that whole sequence. Very good timing on the finish.
I thought that this was like a straight up, really good formula tag team match with a good little heat section, nice little comeback, and some hot moves, and the crowd was really into it. I'm going to go 3 stars for this. Ollie, what do you give this match?
Yeah, I'm going 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the reasons you said. I mean, it was good. I always loved Danny Doring, the good G-spot sweep.
I mean, he looked... Was it me or did he look like he was wearing Depends? Like that diaper on his fucking
dude,
head?
I thought the same kind of thing. I'm like, dude, what does he have on his ass?
Yeah, like, is he trying to, like, stuff his ass? Or, like,
I was thinking to myself, like, does he got quilted shorts or something? Quilted tights?
Yeah, it looks like some weird padded diaper that he was fucking wearing. I don't know.
Maybe he had some issues. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of some guys stuff their pants a little bit to try to show up the package.
In the front.
Back in the day, but
I don't know about the back.
You ever heard anybody pack in the back?
No, but I can't believe you mentioned that.
Yeah, he looked like he was. I don't know. It looked like some padded Depends or some weird shit I'd never seen. But
Hack, what do you give the match? Stars.
3.5.
3.5. Wow, that's a generous one. Ty, what do you give it?
I'm gonna go.
Oh, it was a good match.
I'm gonna
That
go.
was good.
I'm gonna go 4.
Wow, he's even more generous. I like it.
Dude, I loved everything about it, and I'm a finish guy.
Absolutely.
I'm a finish guy. If you nail the finish, I'm good with it.
Yeah. So then the heels were doing a beatdown. It was 3-on-2, and then out comes Nova. And Hack, you talked about this already.
Ripped.
This is the best shape I've ever seen him in, even when he was doing that stupid fitness gimmick, Simon Dean in WWF.
Oh, yeah.
But
he didn't even look that good then.
No, he didn't. Like, what you think, like, okay, dude, you look this jacked up for this, and yet you were doing a fitness guru gimmick, and you weren't quite as jacked. So we get Chris.
But I love this change of character right there, which I forgot about. Like, he's like, well, let's say a biker guy or whatever the hell it was. He wasn't like that super geek Nova.
Right, he had a little bit of scruff. He's tan. He's jacked up.
Yeah, he wasn't doing the superhero cosplay anymore.
Right,
He was ripped.
He's still doing all the high spots and mixing 1,000 high spots into one 5-minute match. But
His problem is selling. He was never a great seller.
right, he was a guy with move.
Yeah, he's not like a get your arms going, taking a punch and shit, which I'll get into later.
Okay, so Nova just basically goes wild on Chris Hamrick to start, and he was just doing some cool dives, and then Elektra got in, and then Hamrick was getting involved with what was this spot here he did? There was an enziguri. I'm trying to read my notes here. Oh, Elektra got in. So then Nova kicked her right in the arm, and then he went to a crossface chicken wing.
Elektra was right there for every one of her spots, too.
Yeah, she was.
She was on.
Yeah,
Right there for all. She had like 3 of them in that match.
Yeah, she was right there for all of them. And then the referee got squished in the corner. And then you had Chetty run in.
Who even was that ref? I don't even know that ref's name.
I don't know the ref's name.
I could not figure out who the hell that ref was.
Yeah,
I would have said, looked at that guy and said, no, he never wrestled. He never refed a match in ECW.
I didn't remember him
I had
either.
no recollection of that dude.
And then Chetty's in there in a ref shirt because he lost a loser leaves town
And
match.
he looked jacked as shit, too.
He did.
And Hack left out the back door.
Did you look at the ground when Chris Chetty was walking in the room? Chetty, just a note too. Chetty was he got a tryout with WWF shortly before this show too. So I don't know if maybe that played into him getting super jacked up.
I don't know. He
make
looked
it.
bloated to me, not jacked.
Well, yeah, he was a little more bloated.
But he was big, and I mean he's Taz's shoot cousin. So I think maybe he was trying to see if he could end up in WWF, but it didn't really ever work out for him there. But another ref came in and then ran out, and then he got attacked by Louis dangerously, which was awesome. And then Spike Dudley came out.
Louis cracked him good with the fucking phone.
Yeah,
he
You
did.
could hear it.
Yeah, he did. Spike Dudley came down to save Nova, and then Louis was saying he would never call himself a Dudley, and then Spike just attacks Chris Chetty, and then I don't know. I mean, it was kind of confusing, but Spike and then Nova took out the heels, and Nova pinned Hamrick with the Kryptonite Crunch. With Spike was the one who made the pin count. I don't know. This was just
It's ECW.
It's ECW. It's a lot of.
I would have shit on that so bad if that was AEW.
I know, which is ridiculous.
I know, because I forget.
They never do anything as dumb as this. This was just like,
But it was ECW, and it was the first of its kind, though.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, that's why it was so good.
I liked a lot of the bumps. I liked a lot of the bumps that Hamrick was doing. Hamrick did a really great Hurricane Rana off the top rope. That was really good. And
His best bump is when he jumps through the top rope and the second rope and lands on his ass outside.
it's an insane bump. It's an insane bump that he
I
takes.
just saw that on Twitter
Yes,
with him
it
and
was
123
it
Kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was him in the. Dude, I'm watching it with my glasses on, and I'm thinking it's Ricky Morton because he's wearing Ricky Morton shit.
Yes, that's the funny story. I just saw this.
I'm like, Ricky Morton in the 1-2-3 Kid.
I just saw Ricky Morton tweet this out. Apparently, he was working that show too, and Hamrick stole his trunks to go wrestle the match with Kid, and then Ricky
That's
Morton's
funny.
looking
He
at the
didn't
monitor.
steal them.
No, he took him for the match as a rib,
Right.
and Ricky Morton looks at the monitor and he's wondering where his shorts are, or his pants are, and he sees that Chris Hamrick's rocking them.
That's funny.
Because he had the hair and everything like Ricky. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I didn't think the size thing was fucking with me.
I love Chris Hamrick. Like, I always like different looks in wrestling. Like whether it's like fat people, skinny people, jacked people. Like it always look like the circus. Have one of everything. And Chris Hamrick, man, this guy looks like he'd be working at a carnival while you're shooting a basketball on a bent
Yes,
rim.
exactly, down the midway.
Yes, he looks like you're shooting.
Taking your money.
Yes. You're shooting.
Step right up.
Yes, that's like he looks like a straight up carny guy, and I love
He
that
kinda
look.
does.
I love that look.
Amazing top rope leg drop. Amazing
picture
top rope
perfect.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Chris Hamrick, man. I mean, that guy is a character.
Awesome dude.
Any good
Yeah.
Chris Hamrick stories, Hack? Anything that nothing? You know, got anything? All right,
No, we didn't hang in the same circles.
okay. But good dude, good dude.
Yeah, it means he probably didn't do coke.
I can vouch.
That was my circle.
I can vouch he was a good dude to me, so that's all I can go off.
This match wasn't really much of a match. I can't give this a star rating. I
No.
don't know. I mean, Ollie, you gonna give it any star? No, this is just fun stuff. So
I don't know. Elektra was shocked me.
Shocked you.
She shocked me how she was just like on. Right there every single time.
Nova got a new character and thought he could do a bunch of new different stuff, and it didn't really hit for me. But
Yeah. Okay. Up next on the show, this is a promo by Steve Corino. Corino and Jack Victory, and then he whispers to him, "High spot," which I always pop. That was just fucking hilarious, man. I love.
wasn't
Jack
that
Victory.
later? It was Justin and Missy.
Francine and the Hoagie?
Oh, that's later. That's later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
with the
high-
giant
yeah.
hoagie, the comical hoagie.
Which is hilarious.
With that whole segment was amazing. We'll get to that, but Corino's mad that you stole the belt, and then he's gonna.
I don't remember stealing the belt. Does anybody even know what he's talking about there?
It must have been an angle you guys were running or something.
Yeah.
And then he was going to wear it around his waist when he has intercourse with Francine. So up next is the I Quit match between C.W. Anderson and Tommy Dreamer. This feud, man, I enjoyed this because I think it was really bringing C.W. Anderson, trying to elevate him up a level, even though he wasn't going over here in this final match. C.W. Anderson, just as solid as it comes in the ring.
You don't get more solid. That dude belonged in the 70s.
Right.
Like with Bob, the Bobby Dunkos, the Jaggers, the Kendall Wyndhams. Like he belonged in the 70s. He was out of place.
Territorial wrestling days.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yeah.
But,
He was awesome,
he was
man.
great. He knew what exactly he was doing in that ring every second.
But I liked him in ECW
And he was
because
real smart.
he was a change of pace. Whether it's different from the hardcore, different some of the high-flying guys, which we'll see later on the show. Like,
Well, that dude never high-flied anything.
he didn't need
He
to
was
spot.
base.
Yeah, he didn't need to. I mean, he was just a real solid worker.
And maybe the best spine buster in the business.
Love his spine buster.
Because he knew how to do it right.
Yeah.
You got to push the guy's chest down for a nice spine buster. You can't just do it like that. Like the Japanese guys will get you up there, and usually their left hand, their right hand will be around your left hip, and they'll push you forward to get you to land flat.
Yeah. So Dreamer did put over C.W. Anderson on the last pay-per-view, taking a spine buster through a table in the corner with the leg first showing. So that was a really cool match. So then tonight is an I Quit match. They just went straight at it with a brawl.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like is you can't ask if a guy wants to quit in the first 30 seconds of the match.
No.
That's kind of what they were doing.
You got to wait like 5 minutes at least before you pull the mic out. But
Work the arm a little bit.
yeah.
Well, they were kind of. He had him in a submission, and he was asking him. But the one thing I actually thought was comical was everything that they were doing in the match, and then they were doing rope breaks on submissions.
No rope breaks in an I Quit match. There shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'm with
didn't
you,
even
Ty.
think about
That's a
that.
great point.
They were doing the rope break, like every submission to be like, "Do you quit?" He'd be like, "No." And then he grabbed the rope and they were doing rope breaks, but he's hitting them with razor blades and putting them through tables and doing all that. And it's an I Quit match.
Yeah,
And it's
razor
like-
wire, I don't believe in ever bringing razor wire to the ring.
But
That shit will fuck you up.
I'm just saying, like, regardless, rope breaks and an I Quit match
And
for
a
the
wrench
submission.
after a wrench was involved.
Yeah.
I don't even know what kind of wrench that was. I'm trying to figure out the two ends of the thing, and I'm like, I don't even know what
Yeah,
kind
the
of wrench
one
that
end
is.
was weird. It was like
Yeah.
cockeyed with like a hook.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it was.
Dreamer hit him with a wrench and then he busted him open.
Dreamer's patent ring bell spot that he loves.
He loves that one.
Could you imagine what that did to his ears? I think what was Joey saying that or something.
I enjoy
He puts
this.
it on the balls, will do it on your balls
yeah, he
too. Where
loves
it means nothing.
Yeah.
There's a piece of wood.
It's a visual for the crowd, all right?
Yeah, and the sound.
Yeah.
That's Dreamer for you, though, getting a cheap pop out of everything.
I'd bury that if AEW did that today.
He's unbiased right here. Hack. At least he's admitting it. So this was a cool spot. Hack, talk to me about the Towel Boy from ECW that they got involved here.
Love that.
Dude, it just anybody that got in the ring figured out some way to get over. The dude literally would just wipe the ropes, and then all of a sudden, like a month later, the dude's got it like a gimmick.
Well, no, he would come out in between the. He would come out. Yeah, he would come out in between the matches and rub each rope, and it'd be like as he's going on.
That just goes to show you why the Philly crowd taught every other crowd, I don't care what sport it is, how to be a great audience.
They literally just saw something in between the match
make it up.
and made it their own.
Yep.
Like and Cowboy became a thing.
This is not part of the show, but we're going to make it part of the show.
Yeah,
and
like
everything is a part of the show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like if we have to sit here and watch him do this, we might as well make something.
Yeah, literally everything. It's part of the. Yeah, because the audience was part of the show. Well, they are the show.
yeah, it's the you fucked up or asshole on all four sides, every three like all the ropes. So you're doing it 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2. So
12.
12 different times. Watch them go around the whole ring during the thing.
Freaking hilarious.
Yeah. And
And I guess he was. He looked like he was in some kind of wrestling school or something.
well, he actually did some wrestling after this for like CZW and Ring of Honor and stuff. He did a little indie.
Was he called Cowboy?
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, he was. I think. I'm pretty sure he was called
That's
Cowboy. So he did have a little bit of a run, and I think he broke both of his legs in a spot in CZW, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it
Oh,
was.
it's CCW.
Yeah. So, but
CZ, whatever it is.
Cowboy the Crutch Boy.
he took a big superplex from CW Anderson, which the crowd gave a pretty big pop for, and then CW Anderson gave Dreamer a spinebuster on the wire, and then
Which was actually great placement by CW. No, the wire was like right up against the ropes, tight to the corner, and he
Yeah,
picked
you
him
saw
up
the
and planted him.
referee move it with his foot before the spot happened.
hey,
He only moved it like this
little
much.
help never hurt. And then he got on an armbar with the wire sticking into Dreamer's shirt, which was a pretty cool visual. And then CW gave him a suplex through 2 chairs, and Dreamer just won't quit. And then Cyrus was a little hamming it up on commentary, saying that his career is going to end right now. Like I'm like, all right, dude. this is-
Cyrus.
Yeah.
What, like Bobby the Brain didn't ham it up on
No, you have to. You're trying to sell it. Jerry Lawler. I guess you're trying to sell it. And then
I know, that's why I couldn't do commentary. I can't say some of the ridiculous, oh my God, what did that do to his ear? No,
Right.
dude, I'm not saying that. I'm just not.
You can barely do this, Zach. What do you mean?
I hear that. Oh, could you imagine in real time? I'd be like, hamming. I'd be like Ralph Cramden.
What match are we talking about again?
who are we watching?
Hack, they're in the ring. What match are we watching again?
Not to mention you'd be ripping your pen the whole time.
Yes.
Choking during the broadcast.
Hey, well, at least they're catching up to it now with my boy fucking with Yeet bringing the guy smoking out with him.
Yeah.
Now they're getting hit.
Yeah, there they go. Hopefully. And then the finish of this match was Dreamer gave him a Spicoli driver off the top rope through a table, and then he wrapped pieces of the table around CW's face, and then CW, I love
No, he wrapped it over his eyes.
his
and
eyes.
it's the rubber freaking thing that goes around the edges.
I
His
really,
eyes part of his face.
yeah. Well, it was
You got to be more specific.
sorry, it was
And he
over
gave
his
up
eyes.
so quick too. I thought.
I like the quick give up.
You do you? You know, just the shit over the
Well, he's
eyes.
been through a lot. I mean, how long did this match go?
I
Like
hated it.
15 minutes.
14 minutes, but I thought it was a little quick.
I liked it. I liked it. I liked this match.
Oh no, I like the match.
I like the match. I hated the fact that he quit on the shit above it across his eyes.
Yeah.
You think it should have been like around the mouth, or or just something
Neck.
else? Neck, yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah, neck.
and maybe gave it a second after all the shit you've been through, and you're not giving up like
you would like to see Dreamer like torque back on it a little bit or something.
a little
or-
bit, and not across his eyes.
Or CCW try and fight it a little, like,
Yeah, like
I like it. It hurt so much he quit right away. I don't know.
I
like-
know, but after all the shit that he's been through,
They did a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. That's
after he got his eardrum popped.
yeah.
I thought it was a hell of a match. I'm gonna go 3.5 stars for it. I thought it was a damn good fight, and it was intense, and I liked it. They shook hands afterwards too, Hack, which that's kind of a pattern for this show. I guess he given CW a little bit of rub for having Dreamer put him over, but I don't know. Ollie, what do you give this match?
3 3/4.
Okay, you're a little higher than me too. Here, Hack, what do you give this match?
4 easy.
4. Okay, Ty.
I'll give it a 3 just because I didn't like the finish.
Okay. Up next, this is something you referenced earlier. Francine has the best way to describe this would be like in The Simpsons when Homer's eating that giant hoagie. It's just a super huge,
Hoagie.
it's just a giant hoagie, and it can't fit in her mouth. And then Steve Carino comes in, and then Steve Carino he wants Francine, but she's not interested in him unless he's got the
good.
belt.
They're both really good in this.
They're perfect. Like for a thrown together backstage segment, like this was just
both
hilarious.
Really good in it.
And then he said he's still the champion, and the champion makes money regardless of whether he has the belt or not. And then he's wondering where Justin Credible is, and then Franny's like, "Oh, he's in the bathroom with his friend or something." And she tells him that it's Missy Hyatt, and he's like, "Yeah, right." So he bangs on the door, and he says something to Justin about Missy Hyatt being in there. And then out comes out comes Justin from the bathroom. They have a little thing with Carino, and then out comes Missy for the big reveal in a towel, and then she walks down the hallway with Jack Victory, and then she has this great line to Jack Victory.
Yeah, but you got to understand, they're not believing that Missy's in the bathroom. So Jack and Carino actually leave the room because there's a bathroom door next to another door, because it's just like a 10 by 10 like little dressing room area. So they don't believe that she was even there. Until you go outside in the hallway and they're talking, and then here comes Missy.
Here comes Missy in a towel, and then they're both shocked that Missy's there even. And then Jack Victory says that she he used to manage me, and then she's like, "Did I fuck you?" Which was just
That's great. That popped me huge.
Such a great line. This was a fantastic skit for a pay-per-view. Like, this is a 5-star skit for me. I thought it was absolutely tremendous.
Spot.
Yeah, then he whispers high spot to him. You're right. It was right there. When he,
Yeah, that was funny.
Stole the promo again, Jacko.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good stuff.
it's just great stuff. They're building up the pay-per-view.
Especially like Steve could be a badass, you know what I mean? But he could still do that fucking Three Stooge comedy.
Right. And they utilizing Missy. Apparently, she was the Wrestling Observer was saying that she happened to be in town. So Paul, like, she was backstage visiting people at the show, and he asked her if she wanted to be in the show. So kind of just threw together this skit the day of the show. So pretty cool.
Yeah, you want to be in the show? Here, get naked.
I say, did I fuck you?
Well, I mean, look, they're old friends.
I can't pay you though.
Yeah, no money. This is a freebie.
Yeah, but you want the TV. You know what I'm saying? If you're there anyway, why not be on the TV?
Yeah. Up next on the show, man, what an awesome match this was. I love this.
I know, I was God.
Not you yet, bud. This was the #1 contenders for the ECW tag team titles.
It's on the list of one of my favorite ECW matches.
I was going to say that, Ty. I was going to be like, is this Ty's match?
Yeah, this was my guilty as charged triple tag, one of my favorite matches.
So you got FBI with Big Sal, you got Kid Cash and Super Crazy, or kind of just like a thrown together team, and then you got the Unholy Alliance with your boy Hack. You always call him the Red Guy. The Sinister Minister.
love Mitchell.
What a fucking combination of a match this is, man. This is just awesome.
I don't even know how Joey kept up with it. I mean, Jesus Christ.
It's straight chaos.
I don't know how
It is, really.
I don't know how to like.
And how they didn't screw up more shit is beyond me. There's a couple little hitches, but they're like quarter-second hitches around, you know what I'm saying? But, wow.
Yeah, Crazy, Tajiri, and Guido, like any combination of those three guys. I mean, they're teaming up together in GCW, the show at the Hammerstein this weekend. So it's like any combination of those three was magic in the ring, and they all brought a little something different. You know, Tajiri with the strikes, Guido with the submissions, and Crazy with his picture-perfect high flying. These guys were all magic in the ring every time they got in the ring together. Like, even if this wasn't like the best I've seen them in the ring, it's still awesome, and I didn't care. I never got tired.
It was rushed.
It was, but
That's what it was. If they took another 2-3 minutes, it would have been a much better feel.
definitely. But I never got tired of seeing these guys. You know, I never got tired of seeing this combination. And there's sometimes in wrestling where you get tired of certain matchups. You're just like over certain people being in the ring together. You've seen it too many times. This was one where I'm just like, man,
I'll
guys
never get tired of seeing those guys work.
Me neither.
Any collection of those dudes, whenever they're in a match, and it, like you said, it wasn't their best work, I think, that they put out. But like for me, like it was just straight chaos from the beginning. And you're starting with 3 guys in the ring. Like, it's not that bullshit 1-on-1 and then one tag's like sitting out. Like, you have 3 guys in the ring and you're working each other and like nobody's down powder and doing everything. Like, there's constant movement. Like, they did their set and then they tag in the next 3 guys. They do their set and everything's constantly moving.
Yeah. It was straight chaos, like you said. Eventually, Big Sal got involved, and he splashed Kid Cash, which
That was a good splash, dude.
And he
Jesus
doesn't
Christ.
touch him either, which is great. Like, he
Dude,
doesn't touch
Sal's
him
like
either.
600 here.
I mean, that was
Because he ain't no short dude. Sal's like at least 6 feet here.
He's a
So
big-
you got to understand what the size of this human being is.
Oh yeah, he's a big dude.
he's
Yeah.
a big boy.
He's from around here.
Big Sal?
He works out of freaking. I think he works out at the gym down the street.
Oh, really?
Or he had or something, because I saw somebody and they're like, "Yo, you go to the same gym that's out," and I'm like, "Where the hell does he go?" And they're like, in Jerksville.
Got to work off all that pizza he ate that the crowd was saying.
Well, dude, I mean, he's got to be on the treadmill since then, and he might be down to like 450 right now.
This was
Yeah, there's no tread left on that belt.
it was down to the FBI and the Unholy Alliance, and this was just the Unholy Alliance just beating the shit out of the FBI for a little bit, and then Big Sal got involved again. He went after Mikey, and then it kind of just went into like a regular tag team match. The FBI did a couple of nice double team moves for some heat on Mikey.
Yeah, the funny thing is they go full like tornado tag, and then like you see Mamaluke tag Guido like
Break
out of
down.
nowhere and like
Yeah.
bring him in like.
Slow it
Yeah,
down a little
yeah,
bit,
right.
settle it in a
Oh, this
little.
show blows. Jesus. All this crazy stuff happening. Nobody should be getting the pin.
But
Freaking-
Mama Luke and Guido just bumped her ass like some of
Totally.
the
Yeah,
greatest
they did.
sellers and bumpers that
Mama Luke
you'll.
always staying folded up, like after the pin is like just.
Oh, yeah,
such
when
a-
he has
when
his
he's
nose
still-
over his head.
It's so good, and more people should do it today. Maybe not in that way, but some sort of that way to where you're just stuck in the spot you got pinned at.
Totally. I absolutely
Some of the
agree.
girls do it sometimes.
I like that, though. It's
No,
like-
the one spot was, what did Tajiri put Guido on his thing and he spun him around a fucking couple times?
Yeah, you had Mama Luke spun him around, then had Guido spun him around in a different way.
That was good shit.
and there was the FBI got Mikey in a double Fujiwara armbar, which was really cool.
That was good.
What are you gonna say, Hack?
No, I like the three-way freaking.
Three-way submission?
They had the tarantula?
Yes.
Is that where we're
Yeah.
going?
No, that was earlier in the match. Where they had the tarantula,
That
the
was cool.
surfboard, and the armbar
I
at the
was
same
popping
time.
for that.
Was cool. At this point, Tajiri saved Mikey.
Well, he was going for a double whippersnapper off the top rope, and they did the double Fujiwara, which
Yeah.
is
Oh,
a
that's what it
great,
was, yeah.
which is a great transfer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they did double tiger suplexes for the finish. Awesome finish, I thought. They both looked really, really good, and it set up a match we never got to see, which was them taking on Doring and Roadkill. But this one, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm going to go 3.5 stars. I'm being generous here. Ollie,
I'm going 3.
3? Hack?
4.5, easy.
4.5, easy. Ty?
It's one of my favorite matches. I got to go 5.
Wow, he's giving it a 5-star.
Well, yeah, if he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of his favorites. Yeah, sure.
Listen, like I said, it's not the best work that they've done, but straight chaos from start to beginning. Like, there's never a dull moment in the match. It's not like the greatest shit that they've ever done, but
Yeah. Up next was Hack. You were cutting a promo backstage, and you were smoking a cigarette, and you cracked open a beer, and you said you don't have a problem with tonight's main event because you're betting on yourself. And
Oh, yeah, I'm coked up here. I could tell on the interview. Yeah, I'm real coked up.
Really?
Because I wasn't loose at all.
oh, okay. I thought you cut a good promo. Like you had like intensity.
Oh, I
like-
didn't say I'm going to cut a bad promo. I'm just saying I'm coked up.
I had a better line for you in the promo.
wow, what would you have said?
The headline?
Well, no, when you said there were going to be tables, there were going to be chairs, there were going to be ladders,
Canes.
and then you said canes. You should have said bears.
Oh, my.
Oh my. Chairs, bears. I mean, it was right there in plain sight for you, but you were coked up. So
We'll give you a pass, Hack.
yeah.
Up next on the show was your boy Simon Diamond, and
And he has a problem.
He's got
Actually, Swinger had the problem
Swinger had the problem.
Yeah, he
we-
wasn't getting enough action.
because he's a swinger.
Which is
to
good,
boot.
which is cool, though. You know what I mean? I like that.
Yeah, the
Yes.
dichotomy
Yeah.
of it all. Like, yeah, listen, Dawn's not giving me enough, so
right.
Which you would never think and ever that would happen there because Swinger never said shit on the microphone. It was always the
Well, and
kid's
Swinger's
microphone.
like the leader of the group, and Swinger's not. So like Swinger's bringing in his own quote unquote lackey, which is the Blue Man
He
group.
just wasn't my guy.
Dawn looked awesome in the outfit that she was rocking.
Yes.
Women look
She,
awesome.
she looked fantastic, man. And then Swinger's annoyed about her, and then Simon hasn't been sharing her. So he set up a deal with the Blue Boy and Jasmine St. Clair. So Jasmine's now going to be his valet.
Who has no problem sharing.
No, sharing is not an issue for her, certainly. So the Blue Boy, Blue Meanie, lost a ton of weight during this period of time, around like the year 2000. And
Dude, he was a good looker. He went from fat ass meaty to slim, trim. He had his beard all like perfectly freaking
Well, he actually
trimmed.
had some sort of a jawline too. With like, his
Exactly,
face
yeah.
A little bit slimmer.
Yeah, the chiseled freaking jaw. That's good, yeah.
prior
The beard.
to Ozempic, Blue Meanie, in great
Dude,
shape.
he had to be throwing up.
And he ends
He had to be on a throw up diet.
and he ends up with a.
You don't lose 100 pounds of straight fat in 6 months.
and
Without throwing up, without girthing every night.
he had a awesome blue.
Jasmine could have shown him some calisthenics.
He's rocking this great like blue fur coat. He
No,
looks like,
that
he
was awesome.
looks like a pimp. Like it's the only thing. Like he seriously looks.
And he's got his wrestling boots on.
Yeah, and the wrestling boots too. So that's Simon and Swinger. They're currently feuding with Balls and Chili Willy. So this is
Chili Willy was jacked out of his mind, too.
yeah.
He was
yeah.
always one of my favorites. I wish we could have got to see more.
He was a good guy.
You tagged with Chili a little bit.
Yeah, I
you
like
guys-
it.
No,
yeah.
I was over. But you never go wrong with putting Hack with a brother.
No, never. That's a winning formula. We're good. Yeah, you're good.
Me and Score, we're good.
You're good in any hood, Hack.
Fuck yeah. Me and New Jack,
this-
121st Street, we're good.
This match wasn't really much, but I did enjoy. Blue Meanie took some really good bumps in this. Like everything, like he took it on his neck and he flipped over for a couple things. I think the chair shot he took was really nice from Balls.
Balls killed him with the chair.
Oh, Balls killed that. You know you're
You see
getting
the dent in the chair.
Yeah, and he didn't put his hand up, didn't even think about putting a hand up for
No.
that, dude. You're taking that.
No. And then out came Rhino. He just destroyed everybody. And then now you get
I'm
the.
surprised Chili gave him a face full of ass. That was
That was good.
He got
Yeah.
in one spot.
Yeah, he gave him the ass eater, and Rhino no-sold it like a motherfucker and then speared him.
Well, maybe if he had the Danny Doring's Depends in, he
Yeah, he
would
might
have
have
actually.
knocked him down for more than half a second.
Yeah, he wouldn't have destroyed your ass. in
He had
main
the
event,
loaded
Hack.
ass. If he
Yeah.
had the
Dude,
loaded ass.
I was just with Dor. I wish we'd have done this because Doring was there too.
Okay.
Oh, and he's still thick as shit. I go up to him, I'm like, or not really go up to him, we're all just sitting in a circle. I'm like, dude, why do you still look so good? He's like, dude, I hate my wife. I got to go to the gym 2 hours a night or I'm going to kill myself. That's exactly what he said.
Dude, when the match started, Joey said something about Chili Willy being like some sort of like tough man tournament winner or something.
Yeah,
But
some-
I
he
was
was
going to
something,
ask
yeah.
you about it. Like,
I
was
don't
he like
know.
an actual like badass?
Nah,
like,
there was
badass?
something. He might have won like a something.
Was it an toughest ass man competition?
Him against Billy Gunn in the finals?
Yeah.
But I didn't know if he was like one of the guys who was like Tracy Smothers, who was like
No,
somebody
he
like,
was
yeah, don't fuck with
military.
him.
No, yeah, I think he was military. I think he was a badass military.
You
dude.
are correct, Hack. He was military.
Then his ass definitely was getting a beat. Yeah.
Rhino gave a really cool pile driver to the top rope to Jasmine, and
That looked good.
And so did
Real
her,
good.
And speaking of asses, so did hers. So that
But
was
neither of those chicks took anything like my mom took a bump. I'm just gonna put that out there.
facts. Absolutely.
Dawn took a spear, right, and then she
He
took
care of her.
Yeah, took care of her,
Yeah,
and
he,
then
he laid out. Rhino just destroyed everybody. I mean,
Dude, he never even killed me with the spear. Never. He didn't know how to work.
he was just a good worker.
Fucking knew how to work.
Yeah. Up next, Hack. This is you here in the match here for the ECW World Title.
Yeah, they cut out my great entrance
They
to
did
the
on the
losers.
network, which sucked. I can't believe they cut it out.
I know. I was waiting for the fucking
Taz,
the launch of the beer can.
We gotta make sure we steal these shows instead of watching on the network.
Taz,
because
did you notice the shirt I was wearing?
it was Hack's Bar
Hack's Strip Club Bar.
from
In
Delaware. I was
yeah.
gonna bring that up, motherfucker. I was like, oh, he's rocking his own shirt, which is as the match goes on, it gets progressively more fucked up and like ripped off.
Yeah.
And then by the time Rhino's out there for the angle, he's just like dragging you by it.
The
It's
loser.
It's great. So this is the table, ladders, chairs, and canes match. So this is following some of the stuff the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian have done. Did you feel any kind of like expectation?
Yeah, that I had to do everything because the other two are pussies.
Dude, you literally took every bump in this match that was like a big bump.
Nobody else was going to.
I mean,
you just know.
I think
you
I
just know.
I think I counted you went through 4 tables in this match.
Well, once and Rhino's too. The two that Rhino put me through.
So
and then,
6?
yeah, because Rhino put me through the one in the corner. I kicked out, took me out. Pile drove me on the outside, took me in. Pile drove me on a piece of the table.
And
So
you went-
Rhino was two.
And you went over the top rope, the chute over the top rope, and then off the ladder off
Over
the
the
top,
top
rope.
rope.
So that's at least 4.
Yeah, I don't think it was safe. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm a beast.
Cyrus said this match is not just for the title, but also whoever gets the right to bang Francine. Which I thought was a great line.
I didn't hear him say. But that is a great line.
It's a great line.
Because it's true. It said it was the whole purpose of her saying,
that's how
"Hey,
they
you
were
ain't got no
portraying it.
belt on your waist. You ain't touching
Yeah.
me."
Franny was great in this too. We'll get to the fact that the camera.
But it's funny because I'm sitting there and I'm watching you, Hack, call all these spots. Like
I'm calling everything.
you can see Justin and Steve kind of have spots in their mind and they're trying to set things up, and then you just kind of get in the middle and butcher everything and then call your own
I'm like,
spots.
dudes, it's time to fucking go home. I'm begging you.
Well, I
Losers.
saw you say that to Justin. I said to myself as I'm rewatching this, I'm like, you go and you lean into Justin, and I see you like kind of like you grab his head and you pick him up. But I knew I was like, oh, that's the beginning of home right there. That is your call for home at that point.
Dude, I was the caller every freaking match I was ever in, dude. Terry Funk let me call.
And it's so funny because like you're kind of going rogue in this, and you can see sometimes Justin's setting up for a spot or Steve's setting up for a
I don't
spot,
care.
and you're cutting it up,
I don't
and you're
care.
throwing a ladder at them, or you're moving
Go
this,
right on
or
your
you're
head,
moving
dude.
that.
Well, this is my match.
Yeah.
It's my fucking match.
Literally, you're throwing a ladder at this dude. You're cutting this dude off like Justin's going to the top rope, and you yank a ladder away from a spot he's trying to set up for,
I don't care.
and you're doing all this other stuff. It's funny, and you're calling everything throughout the whole entire match. If you're watching it and you actually know what you're watching,
I
And-
noticed it. But I always knew I was like, dude, Cactus, everybody, I would just call, dude. Once I got back from fucking, from getting taught by Jerry Lawler, from a year or two after that, dude, I was the man. I was the fucking man. We're doing what I want to do during this match.
That's so cool. And like one thing as I'm watching this too, I'm like, all right, the very first ECW pay-per-view, you're in a 3-way match. And in that match, Terry Funk is the icon. You're the guy in
I
the
called
middle.
the whole thing.
I know, but you're the guy in the middle, right? You're not the guy that's an icon yet. And Stevie's the guy on the come-up. In this match, you're now an icon status at this point in the company. And Justin is the guy in the middle, and Steve's the guy in the Stevie Richards spot, the guy on the come-up. And it's just interesting to see, like, a couple years later, how everything is kind of developed. And,
the difference.
And the difference is, and how you've kind of like, your legend is here at this point. First pay-per-view to last pay-per-view. And I loved your work in this match, man. I thought you were in great shape at this point, too. You're
easily.
You're leaner.
Off the juice.
You're off the juice, but you're a little leaner. And your awareness in the ring as I'm watching you, it's just like, you're so confident in everything you're doing at this.
You have to be.
But
I'm the fucking man. I am the shit in this building right now. Every single person here bought a ticket to see what the fuck I'm gonna do tonight.
I know you went off the ladder to the table outside the ring and no-sold it like a motherfucker. Just got right
had to.
Just got right
First
up.
of all, what's the spot supposed to even lead to?
Another one was supposed to be up on the ladder with me on the other side. It was supposed to be something else.
you talking about the one where the ladder fell?
Yeah, something,
Oh, yeah,
the ladder collapsed?
something else
Okay.
you would have
No, where he
buried in
was climbing up the ladder
Oh,
and
to
they
the
threw him
outside.
off
Why
the
is he
ladder to
setting up
the
a ladder
outside.
over there? For what? What are you gonna do?
And you basically threw yourself off.
Yes.
Yeah, you threw
I had
yourself
to.
off.
Because those two weren't doing their jobs.
Yeah,
Because I was pissed by that. I'm like, come on, let's get to fucking go home, guys. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What about the spot where you're climbing the one ladder and it gives? Because it was in some stuff. And that looked like, I know you were selling your knee, but it looked fucking painful. Was that painful? Not at all.
No,
It almost looked like you purposely were climbing sideways to fall on purpose.
Yeah, 'cause
Almost.
and that's why I'm picking up ladders and just throwing them into people because the things weigh a half a pound.
Yeah, they look
Those
like they were
ladders are
shitty
light
ladders.
as shit.
Right, they're the aluminum ones.
Until
with
the very last ladder, which was
And
an
I
actual
knew I had
legit
no
ladder.
problem breaking any of the other ones. So you notice each time I'm climbing a ladder, it ain't no slow thing. I'm working my ass to get right the fuck up there.
I
Which
love
I
that.
love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
All those guys do that slow climb. No, fuck that. You guys better be on my ass or I'm grabbing the fucking belt early.
I love that. And at the end, when you go up, it's like, I'm like, I hadn't seen this match in years, and I'm like, is this the finish? Oh, it is. He just goes up and gets the belt.
I didn't even realize it was going to be the finish then.
No, but also too, even though you're climbing the ladder fast, nobody ever lets you get past the middle of the ladder.
Right, it's
No.
like, yo, you better be ready.
Yeah.
Like, or else
Or I'm grabbing the belt early.
And you were the same way when they would climb. You just give them a fucking cane shot. It was just like it was great. Like
That was a screw up by those two.
yeah, they were taking.
That's
too-
why I just started whacking both of them.
Well, yeah, and it's no slow drug out, like, oh, I'm going to get the one rung to the next rung. It's like, no, dude, if you're going to get the belt, you're going to get the fucking belt. Like, you can't be doing high spot, high spot, high spot, and then when you get to the fucking climbing the ladder, it's, oh,
No,
like,
I've always
no.
hated that, so that's
Yeah.
why I would do it like that.
the table spot that Justin does the bulldog to Steve Career. I'm cringing watching it because it's like you're taking so much punishment in this match, and they're not like you've said to me so many times like when you're in the ring with like a Sabu or whatever, it's tit for tat. Like I'm willing to be a man and take this. You're gonna
Sabu will take anything.
right. And these two guys,
You can't call a spot and say no because you're like, well, he would do,
Yeah,
he
right.
would do, right.
it's not their forte, the hardcore.
No, Justin's straight pussy.
But you're the king of hardcore, Hack, and you certainly proved it in this match. I really loved this match, and then we'll get to the Rhino stuff afterwards. I'm going to give this match 3.5 stars. Ollie?
I'm going 4.
4.
Yeah.
Hack?
3.5-ish.
Yeah, and it's not for your performance. It's more for like Justin's in this.
No, I was awesome.
You were awesome in this match. Justin didn't bring his own end in this one, and I think Steve as well. I've seen him be better in certain hardcore matches. Ty, what do you give this one?
No, Steve needs to bleed and all
Yeah.
that stuff. You know, that he needs to do is
Work the theatrics of like everything that's
Steve.
going on. Yeah. And which to Steve's credit, he actually took some of the shit and Justin didn't.
Justin
like
didn't.
Steve actually took some of the shit. Like he had no problem, but I'd go 3.5's about right. Like I mean there was no like cohesion in the match. It was just all, a bunch of random shit, but the way that it ended up and turned out, which like we talked about, climbing the ladder quick, doing some of the spots were great. So I'll give it 3.5.
We didn't get a hack suplex on the ladder in that match, did we?
No,
Or a hack foot bump.
nor did we get a hack suplexing a table.
No teeter-totter spot, none of that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of signatures that you could have
Yeah,
worked
Hack
in
was
there.
out of his bag a little bit.
Yeah,
he was out of the bag a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, look, it was.
Well, it's a three-way. If it was just me and Steve or just me and Justin, I would have got those other spots in.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would have had time to create more
Yeah.
spots. Yeah.
Afterwards, Hack, you gave a handshake to Justin Credible and Carino, which was kind of just like, hey, look, this.
Yeah, which I hated.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I've always.
hated it too.
I like when guys shake hands afterwards.
No,
It's-
not then I didn't hate it. I hated it watching it today.
No, but the
Okay.
best thing about that is Jack Victor is loading the table up. He knows
Still.
the next spot. He's loading the table
Putting
up
it
in the ring.
Yeah.
Like all that. They shake the hands. The Baldies come out. Carino and Justin Powder with that. And if you notice when that's happening, Hack's setting the table up in the corner and then grabs the belt like nothing happened. Like nobody's paying attention. Like, oh yeah, la-di-da. Like I just set the table up in the corner for no apparent reason. Then I'm going to grab the belt again.
Before that, though, Hack, I did notice when you won the match, the referee goes to lift up your arm, and you kind of shoo him away. And
No, I think Hack's telling them to get the shit out of the
To clear the ring.
Clear the ring.
Yeah,
for
that's what
what's
I thought.
happening there.
okay, because I didn't know if like you wanted a moment with the belt.
Yes, it's both are correct. But I didn't want to be that dude that walks over. I just had a hell.
Well, because you went to raise your arm and you kind of went no.
Well, and if you notice, when I dropped the elbow, I sold my right arm for the rest of the freaking match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I dropped the elbow on the ladder, whatever, so I sold that arm.
It was
for the
weird
rest of the
because I
match.
saw you selling your right arm and your right elbow, and I'm like, why is he selling the right arm and the right elbow? Because he throws the punch with the left and sells the left hand.
That's why I
But then
dropped the
realized
elbow with the right arm.
and you're selling with the right, and I was like, that motherfucker.
Yeah, and so then I wanted to, because you see how everybody else, the way they win the belt, dude, I'm just through a freaking little mini war right here. So I don't want to be like holding the belt above my head and all that shit. But it was also a point to getting down on my knees and like hugging it.
Yeah.
Because it was that important. And you can hear it in my voice now. It was that important. You know what I mean? It was like, God, I love this fucking business.
Dude, I fucking felt that when I was watching it. I'm serious. I could see it in your face, man.
Yeah,
How much it meant to you to win that right there. Like, you had a fucking moment. And that only made Rhino, like, you're up here right now. And then you got Rhino coming in and taking it away from you. It was fucking great, dude. It was really awesome. So Rhino comes out and he's fucking... He is so jacked up at this point.
Dude, what a great spot for him. Let me just go out and kill people. That's my job for the night.
Fucking killing him.
Take one bump.
Rhino grabs a mic and he says he doesn't even care about ECW being ECW TV champ because ECW doesn't even have TV anymore. So
Which was a great line, and I love the way Joey put it over, too.
he did.
Joey's like, well, he's right.
And then you say no at first. And then Rhino says he's going to attack your family.
He's going to kill. I don't like the word kill in wrestling, but
He did say kill, but he said
I hate the word kill.
he said he's going to kill your family. And so then you do a great line. The microphone's like on the ground, so that like you have to like reach for it and grab it. And you say, start the match, and then it's fucking on. Rhino immediately gores you through a table. And one of the things I loved about, like, this only lasted like a minute, is you kick out of that. It easily, like a lesser booked thing, would have even gave you the belt.
The crowd was there, too, for that kick out.
Dude, they
Right.
popped after the first. Yeah, they popped after the kick out.
Right, like a lesser, like a poorly booked thing would have had you lose it right then. So
No, that's all me.
you kicking out of that?
Yeah, that's all me.
Okay, wow. I thought
Nobody's
this-
telling me what to do at that point.
That is genius because I've seen them do that a little bit with the Money in the Bank sometimes, where like the guy cashes in and then somebody kicks out of like the first initial finisher, and then it it shortly ends, and it's just smart because it invests the crowd more.
Well, yeah, and
to
then
it.
he went through a pile driver on the outside through the table and then kicks out again.
Even though the ref
counted 3, I think.
And then he just drills you on like pulls over like some shards of the table, and he pile drives you again for the finish.
And he got a pop for beating me.
Because it was a big moment. Like, it was fucking awesome. Like,
It's like they're booing the shit out of him, giving him the finger while
Yeah.
he's doing all this bad shit to me. He wins, and then they pop.
what a spectacle. It was awesome. And I know that when you came back in 99, you said you saw Rhino working. And then you were like, I want to work with this guy.
Yeah, the 2 dates because September, like 9th, no, it's like September 9th, 10th, 11th. One was the day I signed the contract. One was the day that I quit, and another one was the day that freaking that I got the other deal with WCW. But we knew when I was coming back, like the day before Halloween. I was coming back October 30th, and he had done a job to Mike Awesome the one week, had done a job to Sabu the next week. And I came in, and after I did this show at the arena, we were in New Orleans. And Dreamer's like, yeah, you're working with the kid tonight like you wanted, and any way you want to go over. I'm like, I'm going to put him over. He goes, okay. That was it. And I gave him the spear through the table that night. I gave him his finish.
It's amazing.
He
And-
puts me over for it later at one of Dreamer's shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
He says that I gave him his finish.
Dude, like, there's a lot of guys in wrestling that say, like, old timers, like, oh, I want to work with the young guys and help them. And, like, they're not really serious about it. But you being a fan.
No, that kid was money.
You being a fan of the business, like, you really helped elevate him to a level. And then he ended up having a nice.
I don't know if I ever beat him.
You did. You got to beat him a couple times.
If unless it was for a title, I put him over every single match.
Yeah.
Same with Sabu.
You really helped bring Ryan. Ryan was in the WWF, a couple months later here, working with Edge and Christian in WrestleMania 17 in the tables, ladders, and chairs match. He was like their manager, helping out in that match a little bit. And like, he had a long run with WWE. He had a long run in TNA, and you were really the guy.
I would say his best is probably TNA.
Yeah.
Then went back to WWE, then went back to
TNA. Yeah, like heck, I mean, you really helped put him on the map.
He's a WWE Hall of Famer, isn't he?
Nah, he's not a WWE Hall of Famer.
He probably will be one day.
One day, maybe.
I don't know. Tori Wilson's in there, so.
Well, we don't need to get into their Hall of Fame qualifications, but my point is, Hank, you really are somebody.
You gotta give back, dude.
Yeah, you give back.
You gotta give back. And even then, it wasn't like now. It's give back now. Like when I sit down and like if I'm usually the match right before intermission because I want to get the hell out of there, and I watch the first couple matches. I'll just sit right there at the table that I've been selling at. And I'll go back and I'll give the guys, because I always got to take a piss or whatever. So I go back and I always give them a little bit of advice of what to do, what they did, what I liked or whatever. You know what I mean? That's giving back now. It wasn't even so much giving back then. It was just that this guy's going to be great and I want to work with him.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw it, and he certainly proved it over the course of his career.
Fucking beast.
Incredible talent, beast, and this was a big night for him. And he got to be the final ECW heavyweight champion, final ECW TV champion.
I'll tell you, the first night I wrestled him, and we're in New Orleans, right? And and I want to get him over like right away. So I got a spot where I'm gonna open up a beer in the middle of the ring. We're gonna come face to face. I'm gonna go to drink it, and then you're gonna slap it. So I'm having so much fun, because it's like I'm not in the arena. It's my second time in New Orleans. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm having so much fun in the crowd. I drink all my beer. I get into the ring, and I go to take a step to the middle of the ring, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't got a beer. I said, hold on for a second. Went back to the locker room while he stood there in the middle of the ring, got a beer, came into the ring and did the spot.
That only probably made it even better, because then
He was like, what the fuck is going on? He's thinking I'm like ripping him right now, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't know me.
Right.
He knows I'm putting him over and shit like that. Who knows what the fuck's going through the kid's mind.
That's fucking
He
great.
definitely thought it was a rip.
He absolutely did.
You're like green as fuck, like just like, oh god. Like, do you know where he came from, Hack? Because I never seen him.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, he owns a marina.
Oh, really?
In fact, he just bought another one. That kid's good. He's got a couple marinas right on Lake Michigan.
Okay. Yeah, he was
Good for him.
He was a guy who did a lot of coming up with Edge and Christian, and I think his name was Just Joe. He was a WWF guy at one point. So, he's a Detroit guy and Canada a little bit. And, he had a hell of a career for Ryan.
Just a
Awesome
great
dude.
dude. Just a great
awesome dude.
freaking
Every
dude.
time I see him.
Great
Super
dude.
cool dude.
Cyrus then was out, and he was laying down the challenge for anyone to face him. And then out comes Rob Van Dam making his return to ECW. Huge.
Jerry Lynn came out first.
No, Jerry Lynn came in and attacked RVD.
Oh, is that how it went?
Yeah. RVD comes out. You think it's going to be RVD and Rhino for the belt. So it's kind of like a little teaser.
Oh, that's right. Then Rhino scooted.
Right. It's kind of like a little teaser. You're going to see another title change. And then you give him RVD and Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn's gear in this match.
Jerry was jacked out of his mind. A little bit bloated. He didn't have like the washboard abs. That's the biggest he's ever been.
Well, I think when you're talking about the physiques here for a lot of these guys, I think people were trying, oh shit, we got to get WWF contracts. We got
Van Dam was big too.
He was.
Yeah, Van Dam looked awesome.
Yeah, Van Dam looked great. And look, this is RVD and Jerry
Well, how
Lynn.
much longer until Van Dam was in WWF after this?
He wasn't there until the summertime when they started to do the invasion angle. So it was a couple months after this. I want to say
With like Shane McMahon and
I want
started to do
to say like June, July is when he got to terms with WWF. Same time as like Tommy. But Jerry Lynn was in WWF shortly after this.
Guido was there.
Guido was there a little bit later. But a lot of guys on the show ended up having WWF runs.
Tajiri was a little bit later.
Tajiri, yeah.
Super Crazy got on a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of dudes on this card, but this match between RVD and Jerry Lynn, again, kind of like back to like Crazy Guido. These guys can't have a bad match together. Like I bet you, if you threw them in the ring today, I bet you'd be
Jerry Lynn's
serviceable.
best matches ever in his life were against RVD. Probably his 3 best matches ever in his life were against Rob. Those
Probably,
two just
yeah.
brought it out in each other, dude.
Yeah.
I would say maybe throw in the work that he did with the 1-2-3 Kid. Have you ever seen him
Nah, I
wrestle?
never saw any of that.
Dude, him wrestling the Lightning Kid.
The kid's great.
Dude, him and the Kid in the early 90s, fucking fantastic. So I don't disagree that him and RVD, probably his best known work, but him and the Kid early in his career and early in Jerry's career, fucking great matches. But this one's a little bit different because you have Jerry Lynn as the straight up heel and RVD. Usually when they wrestled, it was like more of like a face match. And one thing I loved about this is like you do the opening sequence of like, they do all the kip ups and the reversals, and then Jerry sold it as being so pissed that they had the mirror spot. I love that look on his face. And then RVD just was playing to the crowd. The crowd fucking loved RVD at this point. If ECW,
Well, they should.
If ECW had
He's a
survived,
freaking animal.
RVD was the guy to go with. It was so obvious that he was your biggest star at this point. I loved Rob Van Dam at this point. Like,
Biggest star at this point.
you don't think? I mean, what do you think? Shots at you over here? I mean, like, dude, he was.
Wait a minute.
He was super over, dude. I mean,
I'm
like,
5-time ECW champ.
I know what you are. I know you're bona fide, but I mean,
Fuck me.
dude, he was super over at this point.
Nah, he's fucking Mr. Monday Night, dude.
It was
He's the whole effing show.
He's the whole effing show. What did you guys think of this match and the work in it? Because Ollie, these guys can't do anything.
I mean, yeah, like you said, you can't do any wrong. I mean, I love the match. I mean, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was one of the better ones I've seen. I mean, I'd have to go back and watch because I know they've had like a bunch of them, but this one was pretty damn good.
It was pretty damn good. They were right there for every single thing they did, and the crowd is super into this too. Like, I don't know, like Ty, like when you're watching this over again, or like anything come to your mind about this match?
Ty was live for this match.
Oh, you were there in the building for this one. Okay.
We had to be. We were in New York.
I mean, I was getting paid.
Nobody. Wait, you were getting paid? How many?
How many of your checks were late?
I was one of the
tasty cakes.
I was one of the only ones that was still getting paid.
Wow, breaking news here on the Sandman pod.
My allowance. I'm not gonna say anything that you guys already haven't said. You know, the way those two work together, the spots that they do, the intricacies in which they work, and they know everything they're gonna do. You know, the fake leg drop, hop up, nip up. You know, jump over to kick, do that. All that other stuff to put the
Like their opening spot was like boop boop bop bop boop bop. I mean, after the first shit happened.
Yeah, and the chair spot, the Rob rolling Thunder into the thing, and then rolling Thunder into the corner, and then he gives him the the suplex back onto the chair. Like it's just to a T.
My one call out for this match, I missed Fonzie. Fonzie wasn't there for this show.
Why wasn't he? Do you know?
Probably was owed 7 weeks of paychecks. I don't know. I mean,
No, Fonzie would have been there. I'll have to ask him that one.
he wasn't there for this one.
Sabu wasn't there either.
Well, Sabu had a falling out over money with ECW prior to
Well,
this too.
that's why I'm wondering if
Maybe Fonzie
was making a stand for.
Yeah, and RVD might have been a last minute ad that where Paul's like, here's $5,000 cash when you get here.
Right.
So you'll do it. You know what I'm saying? That's probably how it happened.
Could have been
Because Rob, Sabu, and Fonzie were like,
thick as thieves.
Yeah.
Rob came up together with Sabu
Absolutely.
and stuff. So certainly, I would expect for Fonzie to be there, but he wasn't there. And you had Gertner filling in for him at the end. With
what a great sell.
I love the fact that he has his head wrapped because he took the DDT on the floor.
Great.
Just little details matter, man.
Still with the mink coat on.
Yeah, but with the head wrap, it's fucking great. It gets a little bit of revenge on
Wait,
Cyrus.
he did a spot. He did a dunk the clothesline, kick to the gut,
DDT
fucking
to
DDT.
Yeah, and he laid out Cyrus for the revenge on Cyrus.
That's great shit.
And then he's
And you spun his back.
That's
and he did
easily the only spot he's probably ever done in ECW. Literally.
for the last show. So very fitting. Then he set up the chair for the Van Terminator.
Which is
And he's like, "Oh, let me go on one side. Well, let me go on the other
Yeah, he
side."
didn't know where to put it.
Get over there.
Get the fuck over
Van
here.
Dam's like, fuck, I wish Fonzie was here. He would never fuck that up. But he hits a picture
"Oh,
of him.
Rob hit him good with that."
He
Yeah.
drilled him with the fucking
Yeah.
Van Terminator.
Yeah.
Awesome finish. Van Terminator's amazing. I'm going to go 4 stars for this one. Ollie, what do you give it?
Yeah, 4 for me.
4 for you. Hack?
I've seen better from those guys.
So have I. That's why I only
You
give
know
him
what I
4.
mean? So I got to go like a 3.75.
All right. Ty?
4.
4. And that was it for the show. This is the last thing. RVD they cut to a backstage promo from Franny, Just Incredible, and Steve Corino, and they call themselves the New Impact Players. And we never got to see the New Impact Players at all.
Yeah, that's
The new Impact players killed ECW.
Yeah, they killed ECW. They did.
that's on OnlyFans.
That's freaking hilarious.
The New Impact Players killed ECW. So, listen, guys, if you've never seen this one, certainly give it a watch. It was a fun show. Everybody bust their fucking ass on this. Even though these performers weren't getting paid a lot, everybody on the show really gave it their all. You see a lot of interesting matches. You see a lot of great ECW matchups, and I really enjoyed this one, man. So, Hack, any memories of watching this show? How did you feel watching this one after when it was over?
Fuck you, Rhino.
I'm a beast.
Not the same as any one of them.
Okay, so now
Because
like
it's so far removed from what was then, you know what I'm saying? So now it's just like, it is what it is.
Well, now is it like, man, do I wish I was the last guy to hold the ECW heavyweight title? Or
Nope, I had it
no?
5 times, dude. And Joey kept saying, "For the bitch." I want to fuck him up just for that.
wow, shots fired at
he
Joey.
made 77 different moves, the Buster Bomb, the sweet something, but he can't remember that I had the belt 5 times.
Yeah, the G-spot sweep.
All
of them.
All of them.
I mean, if you like ECW, this is right up your alley.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. So I certainly enjoyed this one. It's a historical show for ECW, and it's unfortunate what happened, but really, really great memories from ECW. Up next week on the show, we are reviewing ECW Guilty as Charged 1999. Hack, you're not on this one,
All
but
right, taking it a year back.
yeah, taking it 2 years back.
2 years
Losers.
back.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a fun one.
Probably
So-
horrible
It was probably
without me.
better than this one now that
I'm
you
not
weren't on
watching
it.
As always, send in listener questions to sandmanpod@gmail.com. Please leave us with a name and a town. That's all Hack asks.
You were in WCW being Raven's brother.
Yeah, you were hanging out at the pool doing
Dude, that
coke.
was for like 2 minutes of interviews of a segment.
Bam Bam Bigelow's bitch.
Yes, I would say I was Bigelow's bitch more than Raven's brother.
Okay, there you go.
Definitely.
Up first
Much
is
rather be that.
Chris from Havertown.
Nope.
All right, Chris.
Happy-
Is this guy new?
No, he wrote us in about the fart. He's only wrote us in once before about
my
the fart.
God, Chris.
That was the best email we got all last year.
Well,
Chris, so
you got
thanks
a
for
lot
writing
to
us
live
in.
up to, Chris.
Chris,
So,
I almost ripped one live, like, not too long ago, so we almost had another fart.
Happy 2025 Sandman Pod. It's been a few months since I've written in. I hope everyone is having a great start to the new year. My question this week is, what is Hack's greatest non-wrestling athletic moment of his career? I know he's an avid softballer. He's a
easy.
sports junkie. He loves the live action. Maybe it was hitting a walk-off in Babe Ruth Little League game, a buzzer-beating three-pointer in high school, having a great block on a game-winning off tackle.
All right, shut up. I'm going to tell you.
Or striking out and stuff. What?
6th grade, I got all right, just so everybody knows, I have the biggest balls on the planet. Like, straight my balls, right?
Like nutsack.
So, yeah, so this is where this comes from.
Testicles.
I was in 6th grade, right, and I told my mom that one of my balls sometimes gets like as big as like a freaking grapefruit, and the other one's real small. So she takes me to the doctor. The doctor says I have a hernia. So, but I have a game that Saturday, a football game. So I'm getting operated on Monday, but that Saturday in 6th grade, I threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 3 touchdowns. Yeah, so I blew my load early, boys. My greatest
And it still didn't deflate that nut?
But the greatest game I ever had in my life, singularity,
with a grapefruit ball?
6th grade.
Wow, so that was your Al Bundy Polk High moment right there. So
Whoever Al Bundy is.
Married with Children. You weren't a fan of Married with Children? Okay.
Yes, he knows exactly who the fuck that is.
No, I didn't know. No,
didn't know.
I know Married with Children, and now that you say it, yes.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about a wrestler.
He also said, you guys are the best podcast in town. Wrestling.
King Kong
Well, there's no other ones coming out of Havertown, dude, so.
No, he means period. Wrestling or non-related. Keep on kicking ass, your extreme pal. So thank you, Chris.
All right, Chris.
Ian from
Chris, tell us next time if you write in, do you actually watch these shows that we're saying that we're going to watch the next week? I want to start asking people that.
Okay.
I want to see if they're actually watching what we talk about.
Well, you have a couple questions related to that, so yes, they do.
Right, good.
Ian from the Canary Islands writes in,
Hi, Ian and Canaries. How's your weather?
did you notice during the Sheamus versus Kaiser match on Raw, Pat quoting the Sandman scale, banger, banger, banger?
No, I didn't. No.
He's saying that for Sheamus. That's Sheamus's line. That's why.
Well, why wouldn't Pat imitate me?
Right.
That's already put Hack over before.
Yeah, Hackafee.
Yeah. My question for this week, without the pot calling the kettle black, was there ever a match where Hack felt uncomfortable working with someone because they were too messed up on drugs?
Never.
Never. Okay.
Well, because they probably weren't as high as me anyway, so I didn't
I was
notice.
going to say, not like you would ever know.
I didn't know if
Yeah, hey, listen, Paul, that guy seems a little fucked
Yo,
up.
Big Dick
Hack,
Dudley.
have you seen
Yeah.
yourself? All right, true, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Big Dick Dudley's really unprofessional tonight.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, Sabu's been known to be a little, so with a butt.
like throwing fire instead of in my face, his own face, because he was so fucked up on Soma's.
Wow.
He did that.
I believe it. That's wild.
Here, lizard.
Drummy from Bryan Street Tavern
Drummy.
writes in, yo, Happy New Year and Happy Thong Thursday as well.
Easy money, baby.
There you go, easy money. I told you boys the Irish were going to do it this year. Glad you guys enjoyed the big Raw this past
The road
Monday.
ends here, buddy.
Loved seeing Hulk Hogan out there. Oh, boo hiss. If there one person on the show was missing, who was it and why? Keep up the good work, and the tab is pretty high right now.
Me.
It was Hack for coming out with Jey Uso.
Wow, that would have been awesome. Anybody miss it? Austin was missing.
Randy.
Randy.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the two.
Those top
I was
guys.
shocked Randy wasn't on it.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Shocked.
I was shocked Austin wasn't on it too. I mean, like Austin.
Well, I don't know how good he looks right now, like in front of a camera.
He's on
or whatever.
Instagram, man. He's
does he
him,
look
and
right?
him and his cats. Yeah, Austin.
Is
yeah.
that right? Him
He's
and his cats?
His cats. He's always hanging out with the cats in his farm.
That's hilarious.
It's really cool.
I was shocked Randy didn't make it on.
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, well, I think you're alone on that one, Ollie. But all right, up next is Darren from Grimsby in the UK. Writes in, "Hey
Off
there,
the pond, my man.
Hey there, everyone. Hope your week is going phenomenally well. I have a question for Hack. Besides One Night Stand and Guilty as Charged, do you have any fond memories of working at the Hammerstein Ballroom?"
Yeah. Easily the best memory I have is, was it you, Kane, and John Cena in the locker room?
Probably. Was that at the Hammerstein?
Yeah. That was him, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was at Madison Square Garden.
No, that was at the Hammerstein. Because we were all downstairs in our one little room.
Oh, right.
Guaranteed that was Hammerstein.
I was
and
2006 One Night Stand there.
Yeah, so Cena made a mistake of screwing around with Oliver while Oliver had the cane. Oliver laced it. Well, you're probably like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
But he laced him as hard as he could, like 4 times. John started running away from him.
Oh, it was weird because we were in that different room that we had never been in before. We were like kind of in the front of the building, as compared to the back of the building. We were in the front of the building where everybody, like, they had catering set up, like
because the back was there was like 3 floors of little
three
locker
floors
rooms
of little
everywhere.
locker rooms. Yeah, and then they moved to like the front where we were like an open area. So like that makes sense. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, like, we're in catering, watching like Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle and the Big Show show and we're in the Hammerstein. I'm like, you guys aren't supposed to be here. Like, this isn't right. Like, you know, like thinking about like ECW or whatever. And
They don't go here.
Yeah, right. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And we're in a totally different area of the building, which I didn't even know like existed down there. And Oliver's beating the piss out of Cena with a cane. And I'm like,
fucking awesome.
ECW.
Cena started running from him, and John's got his arms behind his head as Ollie's fucking whacking him.
I know. And Cena's great, too. What'd he say?
Me and Cena were boys.
Yeah.
Like father, like son.
Oh, I'm sure Cena remembers it.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
dude. He's a cool
Hey,
dude.
John laughed it off. You know, he knows kids are kids.
He also says, I want to thank you all for putting on the best podcast out there and for helping me through all the stuff I've been dealing with lately. Keep kicking ass, everyone. Thank you,
Thanks,
Darren.
brother.
Thanks, man.
Hang in
Appreciate
there,
it.
brother.
Keep doing well.
Skinny from Boston writes in,
Skinny sounds no. Is he,
Oh,
or is he not from Worcester?
No, he's the
the-
asshole. He's coming at
Is
us
he the
because we
worst?
went at him last week.
we went at him. We couldn't remember his name. You pricks.
I love Larry Bird.
Just sat,
What did he say? You prick?
You
yeah,
prick.
Nice.
he started off with you pricks.
Nice.
Just sat down and started listening, and I knew this was coming. Yeah, you boys are rolling now. I can't talk shit. Saquon is a beast. We're over here winning our last game against the fucking Bills to fuck up the first pick. Fire our coach after a
That's funny.
Fire our coach after a cup of coffee and pick up a linebacker that our shoe-loving crypt keeper likes from his playing days. We're on our way. Brady who? Haha. But I'm on to the Celtics anyway.
Right.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I
Dude, they
would
got
be
like
too.
5 losses right now.
He said, Embiid play any back-to-backs yet? Oh, what an
No.
asshole.
Touche.
He said, I do love Maxey. They better not take ECW off of Peacock. I agree. That and the pay-per-views are the only reason I have that shitty app. I wish they had a way to watch chronologically, but whatever. And Chloe is definitely OJ's kid hack. Anyway,
That's definitely.
anyway.
I'm glad somebody else gets that.
He said, anyway, I'm coming down to PA in the summer and have to take the kids to Sesame Place. Definitely hitting up Suplex Vintage Wrestling when I'm down there, but where should I go for weed, a cheesesteak, and a hidden gem?
Wrestling.
It's all in the place, same block.
Yeah, you can hit up gyms and you can get some. Go ask Mike or anybody else down there. They'll hook you up with something.
Yeah,
there.
let us some Sandman dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Let us
I got my
know,
own strain.
What,
Yeah, let us
skinny?
know closer to when you're coming down.
Is it skinny?
Maybe
Yeah,
I'll,
skinny.
I'll get some together. I'll have some pot for you.
There you go,
Skinny, I appreciate your honesty when it comes to New England sports. Shit talking is always a fun game to have.
And Sesame Place, good place for the kids. I took my kids there.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would never.
Let us know when you're coming down, and maybe we can set something up.
Well, that's nice that you guys said that because he ended with this. Love y'all, even though I think Ty and Ollie want to fight me. He must have wrote something Boston related
Oh,
before.
it's all love.
It's and he
Hey, shit talking's part of the game, baby.
dude. He literally
believe
said
that.
this. It's all love and sports bullshitting. Keep up the great work, boys. That's
Hey,
an awesome
good,
email.
Good shit, Skinny.
Thank you, Skinny.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, you prick. Up next is
I love you, dude.
there you go.
I
You're
don't
up.
care where you're from. My favorite team is the one I'm betting on.
There you go. Heart Attack Rick writes in.
Hi, Rick.
Hello, Rick. How you doing, bud?
What's up, my fellow bodacious sand dudes? Rick here back at it. I have to admit, I'd never seen this week's Guilty as Charged in full before. I just watched Hack's match once before, and that's it. This was a first-time watch for me. I thought it was great for a first-time watch. I popped big time, like Chili Willy popped a Chili Willy for Rhino during their segment.
Nice. Nice.
Joey Styles' dad joke about Roadkill choking Elektra like he chokes the chicken. It was a dumb joke, but it made me laugh so
I
hard.
remember that now that he was saying that. Yeah, that's fucking
All I
hilarious.
heard was the choking the chicken.
Anyways,
You
Hack,
would, Queer.
there's a reason I did not bring this up. Anyways, this week's question for Hack: what was it like taking the Coochie Con Rana from Francine?
The greatest sex of my life. That was sex. That was sex.
Yeah, I don't know how you made it the rest of the match after that, how you can remember any spots after that, but like Hack was saying, dude, she almost nailed her head on the ring. Thank God that she did it when
Because
she
we
did.
didn't have a lot of room to work with, so I told her, I said, girl, when you come and jump on me, I gotta pull back like 2 feet to get your head to clear that freaking. Her head missed that thing by like less than a foot.
Yeah,
The
that was-
ring post.
and the camera fucking almost missed the spot
The
too.
whole spot.
Yeah. As always, great podcast. Keep it up, guys.
I wonder how Franny feels about that Kuchikan Rana. Might be a little bit different story.
It's a regret. It's a regret for
In
her.
fact, I'm going to go to the bathroom for a minute. Here, I got to take my phone, too. Don't ask why.
Bob from Broomall writes
Bobby?
in, I'm a real guy for starters. This is not a Tosh Burner account.
Yes!
Anywho, I was wondering who was the most talented guy you ever worked with in the ring was. Did you ever work with someone and think that person was going to be something and they went on to have success? If so, for who?
But most talented guy was probably Sabu. Sabu
Okay.
or RVD.
And anyone who you worked with and you
Not
thought...
score?
Well, I only worked against him once, and I was pretty green. Like, not like I wasn't like the Sandman yet. You know what I mean? But yes, if I worked against Scorp like multiple times, yeah.
Okay. And
I mean, he'd be so easy because you just got to do nothing. With all those guys, you just
Well,
have
that's
to
what
do
I'm saying.
nothing.
Sabu and Van Damme, you just take offense.
Just,
So you're like,
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
I got to do nothing. It's a night off.
it's crazy.
It really
it's
is.
true. Did you ever work with someone and think that person was going to go on to like a big success after you worked with them? Or?
Rhino.
Rhino. Okay.
Yeah.
So that speaks to this show here tonight. And thanks as always, guys. We'd love to host a podcast at Brick and Brew, a little meet and greet if we could make something work. So there we go.
Where's that at?
We talked about it last week. It's in Howerton.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's just right off.
I could have told you 2 minutes ago and got the same answer.
What match are we
Yeah.
talking about again?
It's at the corner of Darby and Eagle Road.
It's a great spot. We'll have to talk to you, Bobby, about that one.
Right,
That's a-
Josh? That's where it is, right?
yeah, right there.
All right, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
It's right up the street. It's like 5 minutes away.
We'll let you know, Bob. We'll be reaching out, man. That sounds like a fun time. Kevin from Dayton, Ohio writes
you
in.
pussy.
Kevin.
What a loser this guy is. I'm starting to dislike Kevin. Doubling down, never admitting anything. Rams by 10. That's all he wrote. Wow. What a loser.
Suck a dick, Kevin.
Yeah.
I
go-
can't
yeah.
even acknowledge that.
Yeah,
I have
we're
no
not-
credibility
yeah,
at this point.
Yeah, you're just a bum. Hack, do you have anything to say to this guy?
You can have your own opinion.
You can have your own opinion. All right, Hack. Next week, ECW Guilty as Charged 1999. Make sure you like, share, review,
plead the fifth.
subscribe. Hack. But before we go, the can of the week, the toast of the week. Anything?
Easily freaking this week. The Packers lady that got abused at the Eagles game by that dude who ended up losing his job, which is great. I hope he gets divorced too.
The cane of the week?
That's the cane of the week.
Cane of the
easily.
week,
Yeah.
easy.
For that guy.
Yeah, I hope everybody should know what the hell I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And just the firefighters in LA. I mean,
Toast
you got to
of the week
put all
to
them
them.
over.
Absolutely.
Huge.
100%.
100% with you on both, Hack. So make sure you like, share, review. Next week, ECW Guilty as Charged 1999.
Peace.
Ain't it foggy outside?